managing to do quite a lot more. It's Papi Chulo who's left all alone.
And it's gonna be a hard ask. Has the MP9. The silver lining here is Deathmaker has no armor, so initial frag gain to an advantage. 11 HP though, next Cali close landing him. Gonna be able to
Let's
get
go,
the
boys.
last frag. So trying to escape in from the back lines. Entity Gaming respond in kind with the scouts and deagles. And Deathmaker, not really known for his efficiency with the sniper rifles, but he's showing it here. And especially considering it's nuke, this is Sai's turn to go massive. The op always has huge impact this map, and Entity needs to gain as many rounds as they can on the CT side. Like you said, Crips, Entity not really comfortable on nuke, so as soon as they swap over to the T side, they'll find it pretty hard to
guys pistol जीता है Bren ने और second lol
they move straight in, moving down the squeaky doors, blowing them up and going straight in. Sai and Excali with the weapons they stole from last round, they are managing to put up somewhat of a resistance, but now after the initial assault, the C4 is dropped out in the open, which is going to be pretty awkward to deal with. Pro needs to do some shenanigans here and get rid of Excali, but he just dropped down, and Excali definitely must have heard them. Information relayed over to Skills, who isn't watching that ankle.
Abey yaar. Oh lol bhai.
Surprise, and he is. Great shot from the P250, and Wits brings him down.
Oh lol. अबे तेरा आसू भाई नीचे कूद गया lol.
There 4 HP is all that remains. Might be used as bait here. Pro and Wits, similar weaponry, but no armor to work with. Will certainly be a hindrance. And Entity have already lost quite a bit in this round. Luckily, they do manage to keep both the M4s up, but hell, the round's still not over. The bomb dropped right in front of them, but Skills, this re-aggression might cost him. Pro, the shoulder beat comes in, and he's actually tagged on. Now this is doable. If they try to use Wits as a guinea pig here, he might just set up Pro to succeed.
Yeah, but the trade frag is going to have to be impeccable.
Abey bhai, itna utility आराम से
obviously don't think the Entity can afford to lose to pistols at this point. Not after they've invested so much. Finally, Pro gets taken down, and he was the healthy player alive, so Wits doesn't stand much of a chance.
Nice.
Entity win the second round as well. But yes, you're right. Entity need to win as many rounds on the CT side as they can. Otherwise, a similar story to yesterday will be taking place. Yesterday, Bren managed to win quite a lot of rounds on the T side of Frame, which also is another map which is considered to be heavily CT-sided. If something similar happens over here, then we might just see Bren walk away with the map. Either way, the pressure's on Bren, at least for now. Not in this particular round because they have Glocks and it's probably going to be a throwaway. But still, they need to get as many rounds as they can. And if Entity can keep the pressure on them, if they keep them busy and keep them down, then Entity might just stand a chance.
Exactly. Sai breaking the orange door apart, and now they might just funnel them all into a very narrow choke point in through ramp. By Skills, he has an evil smile on his face, kind of reminiscent about the Patrick meme. Spray comes in, initial kill netted, Molotov in for safety as he falls back. Now they need to be worried about Hell as well. That's exactly why Deathmaker has eye towards, but the only problem is he has a scout. C2C, not a weapon where it's really that useful at this range, but he makes you gets all 3 in return. It's only Derek remaining, and he only has 1 to work with. Goes down immediately. Bren, again.
Nice.
It's okay.
Just name just haunts me for some odd reason, but Bren. This time around, they're going to be on the Kriegs and Entity Gaming. This is going to be their first test in this map. Will they be able to hold against Utility and the big guns?
Well, Deathmaker did manage to hold on to the pistol rushes when he had a pistol of his own. So I would say that he's somewhat in form.
Abey face cam nahi laga raha hai.
The charge for his team at least for now. But then he needs to continue this. I'm not really sure as to if he will be able to do it because he has a scout. Even in this round, and they are going to be up against those SGs. So
guys, CT side में अपने को lead चाहिए यार.
He goes for the peak, he gets completely sidelined. Sai needs to step in here and help him out for a little bit, but he throws the Molotov down to make sure they don't rush him right now.
At CT side
to allow him to peek once again.
CT sided map है बहुत ज़्यादा.
A lot of damage being inflicted on either end, with Bren being the worst off. Deathmaker, low HP, does manage to fall back, holding a very passive angle. He knows if there is another bullet headed this way, it's going to be the one that sends him packing, but through the smoke, Pro goes down. And mind you, that is a healthy player. Papi is who is the danger man for Bren. He delivered heavily against Entity in their previous matchup. Luckily, Wits on the other end does take Sai down. And that's the player into secret removed, and that's left an avenue into its B. That might spread the defensive Entity a little too thin here. On the other end, Entity, they're looking to try and cover as much ground as they lost. But in that process, if Skills overcommits, that will lead towards the side. Deathmaker, initial shot taken, goes in for the repeat and goes down due to that. 3 versus 3. Overcommitment perhaps, but it's left Skill alone in the B side to fend off against 3 incoming players, with one already being in the backlines. Excali is going to be a little too late to help his friend here. With he has the position, he has the information, skills, good for the first, but that's all he could have found. No more
2v2,
expectations there.
2v2.
He got sandwiched in return. 2 versus 2. Excali does have a kid, and Matarazu has 2 flashes to work off of. But look at this, they have dropped the bomb. Matarazu will hear this. He might even be able to cast them on transition. Only 9 seconds left on the clock. If they choose to aggress now, this might just be the perfect timing. Excali comes in and
Oh, bhai, nice round.
patience is the key.
Sprays
Nice
them down.
round, man.
Patience is the key, and they played this to perfection. A lot of things could have gone wrong for Entity Gaming, especially when Bren managed to get one of their players into its secret, and Sai could not kill him. At that point, they could have crunched on towards the B side from both the sides, but then Excali was backstabbing the backstabber himself, and that's how Entity managed to salvage yet another round.
Exactly. Deathmaker now on the EWP. Surprisingly, Sai not wielding the weapon. Perhaps just not feeling it today on this map. Bren. They have another chance at it. They have the buy coming in. But bare minimum utility, a smoke, already dispelled in towards outer. A couple of flashes to work with, and Entity will play aggressive on the back of that smoke. Sai already getting the entry, but Excali getting caught out with the Molotov.
बच गया भाई.
The hands in between his ankles, and Deathmaker finds Derek through the chaos. That's now the entirety of Brent's offense is collapsed. Excali rotating in through West, able to catch him, and this just frags flat out being one entity. They're just fragging out of their minds, and Brent simply not knowing how to respond in kind.
That outer aggression worked out not at all for Bren. That was supposed to be one of the plays that Bren used to pressure Entity all the time, but then it hasn't really been giving them a lot of success. This is the second instance in a row where Bren's outer aggression failed. Maybe Entity have at least that part of map on lockdown, so Bren need to try and exploring some other avenue of approach. They did manage to get some success when they sneakily managed to send one of their players down the secret ladder. Let's see if they're able to get that done again. For now, Papi Chulo in the 1v5 makes it into a 1v4 as he catches the Matarasu off guard, but his position's been compromised and now he's gonna have to play around it. The C4 is being heavily guarded by all these players. Papi probably might look to save, but he isn't keen on doing so.
Deathmaker should get the final
Oh,
frag.
bhai.
Papi just peeks into his crosshair, and Deathmaker
is back.
more than happy to pull the
अपना
trigger.
इंडियन डेथमेकर आ गया
Gaming.
boys.
They're looking
जो
really
इंडिया में
strong
सब
early
team
on,
आप
but
handle
mind you,
करता है.
Crips, this is a similar situation as we witnessed yesterday, where early on they were able to decimate Bren, but as soon as Bren got the read, they didn't take their foot off the gas. They
भाई कल पता है सही जा रहा था, हम लोग 4-0 लीड कर रहे थे भाई यही टीम के सामने. भाई फिर जो 2-3 राउंड थ्रो हो गया उसके बाद भाई पूरा गेम ही भाई थ्रो हो गया इनसे पूरा, वरना भाई सही निकाल रहे थे ये. आज जीतेंगे भाई, भरोसा है मेरे को इन पे.
will go for me a pistol, as utility is key for winning a map in Nuke, especially on the T side. Getting control into its outer is vital. You did see in the round where they did come eerily close to winning it before Excali sprayed them down. The only reason they were able to get that close is Wits had control in through secret. He was able to sandwich the player into its B, hence they were able to get a bomb plant. But now, Entity Gaming, all eyes are going to be on them. All eyes on this revenge matchup. And mind you, this is Brent's map pick, so we'll need to see how they can respond in kind. They definitely have their homework coming in, and I'm expecting more out of them in their T side.
A lot of expectations are riding on Bren. They have defeated Entity before, and I'm pretty sure that their countrymen are probably not even taking Entity serious right now, and that's the exact thing that Entity need to capitalize on. Excali
Oh,
has
bhai,
an
acha nade
avenue
de de.
towards the lobby
Oh,
area.
nice
The
nade.
nade probably won't do much, but
No,
all of Bren is present over here, and they're looking to explore either ramp or the cabinet area. Skills
अबे
with
जीतेंगे
DST should
आज.
be able to move down the majority of them, and they're coming in one by one, offering him individual frags, and Skills will be more than happy to mow them down over here. Sai, on the other hand, he aggresses too. He moves in towards the squeaky doors, and he is about to sandwich Bren from both sides. But Pro, he's
Oh,
on
bhai.
the lookout for him, and Derek won the Skills. Amaterasu does trade him back in return, but at this point, Entity have already lost 2 players. Make it 3 as Pro makes it even more expensive for Entity. They do win the round, but they lost quite a lot of players, which means they
अबे
will
यार
have to
बेमतलब का
reinvest
रश करके
again.
मरे ये
Entity
बेमतलब
have a
का.
lot of money, 9,000 on Amaterasu, 7,000 on Skills, but that number will go down, which isn't really a problem for them now. But if they keep losing players like this, then Bren finally might weaken their economy to such an extent that they will break. Either way, Bren have a full buy now. Op out on wits, all the utility in the world, SGs. This is the asset that this entity need to survive once again. If they manage to defeat Bren in this round once again, then Bren will be down to yet another gruesome eco because they are surviving on max loss bonus and holy shit, they've already sent one player down in vents. Smoke off from the squeaky doors and avenue towards B already taken. Even ramp has leaked right now. Bren have a great chance of attacking the B bomb site at this point. If Excali can manage to trade the numbers to some extent, that might make things a little easier, but Psy and Deathmaker are all that remains. There's a little gap. Deathmaker can definitely exploit that. Amaterasu goes down towards the other side of the map. Down to a 2v5. Things are not looking good for NTD right now. And there might just be a silly little boost which could have posed a threat to Deathmaker. It will pose a threat to Sai now because he did not expect him to be on top of the red box. Luckily, Deathmaker does trade him out, but in a 1v4, there's really not much he can do except for run and save the weapon.
Exactly. The shot rattled off. Now his position is revealed, and Bren, they're on the hunt. They know that this man cannot save the op. They know that if the op is saved forward, there's a lot of potential for them to do damage. Out of control, at least in this round, was Bren's bread and butter as they were able to push in through secret. Mind you, early engagements were taken through ramp, and that was primarily Entity's initiative, not Bren's. They were just watching for a passive push. Nonetheless, Out of Control gifted them around, and they know that the op is the perfect weapon to counter the outer aggression. Deathmaker takes Pro down, the utility used on the save, as he will be able to converge this onto the next round.
भाई जैसे अभी एक दो राउंड हारते हैं ना भाई तो इन पता नहीं थ्रो हो जाता है भाई इनसे वो लीड ये लोग हैंडल नहीं कर पाते कसम से.
Last time around when Excali did try to challenge Outer, sadly he didn't have as much support as he could have gotten. Perhaps a flashback.
अबे कल यही हुआ भाई, लीड ले लिया, एक राउंड वो हो गया तो भाई कंटिन्यू 2-3 राउंड हार के पूरा थ्रो हो गया भाई.
On the outer area,
आज ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए भाई, please. Come on NTT, come on
into the
यार.
back lines, pushing through the smoke near the red container, and he was able to catch two people off guard. On top of that, there were some gaps. I don't know if there were gaps in the smoke, but then he had backup from his other teammates as well. That needs to happen again and again. And if Entity managed to keep this outer area in their control, then things are gonna look a lot easier. Outer area is obviously the bread and butter when it comes to attacking the A site. And if someone manages to get into its secret, then it poses so much of a threat because then Bren can focus on the ramp. And that's where they got their second round victory, by crunching on towards both the sides. Luckily, Excali was there to save them in that round, but he's not going to get lucky every time.
Exactly. You might be a player in game, but getting lucky is something only a few people have in store.
What kind of a pun was that, dude?
A weird one, but nonetheless, Bren setting up the smoke since router, and it's going to be a late hit, a minute in the. And with Entity playing so passive, it has bought room for Sai to rotate in through secret, which helps cement Out of Control. For now, Entity, the defense, it looks really strong. Its only weak point here is skills, and he's playing in through ramp. He needs to be aggressive now. Knows there's a barrage of players heading his way. Cannot contest that. Luckily, he has some kind of support in through hell. Backup is arriving for skills, but it will be a little far away. He'll need to hold his ground, and he'll need little time. Excali does go down in towards 8 though, and that's a distraction ball. They can drop down in through vents, and this is just aggression being punished by Bren, staying on the aggressive off angles. 1 versus 4, as Sai is the only remaining member of the onslaught, and Borkham might just deal with them as he swings wide in through rafters. That's the final flag netted. Entity, they were passive on the whole.
अबे यार यही बोल रहा हूँ भाई, अभी एक दो राउंड हारते ही को फिर बाद में भाई लीड ये ले लेंगे. अबे यार ये नहीं चाहिए भाई मेरे को.
And you can't really blame skill that situation. He played that perfectly. He de-aggressed, he played passive, and that's all he could have done from that circumstance. He was just ganged upon, and Bren, they spotted that one chink in the armor they could have exploited.
I like the position that Skills took up, and I even liked the fact that Bren checked it right off the bat even more. Excali and Deathmaker could have done something more, but they were caught in transition. Unfortunately, we didn't see that on camera, but we could figure out what they were doing. Matarasu, though, his position was of crucial importance over there. So they did manage to put up somewhat of a good defense, but in the end it did crumble, and now Entity, their economy also has crumbled. This is going to be a tough task to win the round. Bren winning 4, that is something that they would have expected, but it is bad news for Entity. They need to make sure that Bren do not get more than 5 rounds, at least in my opinion, so that they are comfortable in the next half as well.
Exactly. And Bren certainly are contesting for this now. This is why it's their map pick. The control is far too much. They're able to read Entity's defense like it's an open book. And that's the problem now. Entity, The setups are getting a little too default, and Bren are reading into it too easily. And now, if they're able to hold on with pistols, it might just be the
Nice.
saving grace for them, because now it'll set their economy in the right track and will put a blaze to Burns. But they've all just fallen like flies. It's just
साई
eco
लेफ्ट
frags
में
selected
तेरे.
at the end, but these are important frags as well. You've seen in many of these circumstances, the
अबे
frags goes
फोर्स
the
ही
other
नहीं
way,
करना चाहिए
and
था
the
भाई.
economy
M4 ही नहीं आएगा.
kind of becomes in a struggling situation later on. But now it's stabilized, and Bren, they have a good, comforting economy to back their momentum with.
अबे यार इसलिए मैं बोल रहा था भाई. देख रहे हो तुम? वापस अब इको करेंगे 6-5. फिर राउंड हार गए 6-6. अबे यार.
By last time, but they did not even manage to get more than one player. And that's kind of disappointing because they would have wanted to inflict more damage onto the Bren's economy. At this point, Bren economy is spiraling out of control. Players already breaching the $7,000 mark. At this point, if they continue, Entity probably will get overtaken by Bren.
Let's see what they're able to do with the vanilla pistols. Getting a few frags is all they could have hoped for now. Very fast play in towards A, and Entity, they're not ready for this. They don't even have the weaponry to be ready for this. Like Scally tries to go for the Zeus, but well,
अबे यूज कर
that
रहा
just
था
didn't work
मैं.
out in his favor, did it?
Nope. I mean, I don't even blame him. It's the one weapon that you can get one confirmed kill on. Or maybe a shotgun. I mean, on top of the hut, that's the only two weapons I would accept.
You know, one thing very aggravating about the Zeus is there's an off chance that even though you might hit him, it might not lead to a lethal kill. It takes him
Yeah.
down to about 95. And
99.
that's so aggravating. Yeah, exactly.
It happened to me once, 99 in one hit, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was very pissed at that time.
Well, at least in this circumstance, Excali might not have gotten the frag, but he will get a buy and a good, pretty decent one in that. He'll have all the utility in the world to work with. And again, you always revere this man once it comes to the late round. Once it comes to the lurk situations, when he has to push up, when he has to make those ballsy plays, that's when Excali is at its best. Let's see
भाई
if
6-5 हो
Entity
गया
are
यार
able to
भाई
set up
लोग.
Excali on his expedition. Certainly seems that way, because now they have utility in return, and they have a double up setup coming in. And this is the first time in the map that Sai is picking up his hop, which is pretty weird considering we're already
Bro,
12
it's an
rounds into the first
international
half.
tournament,
Yeah,
bro.
the
That's why.
atomic ball just never rolled for
अरे
Entity
ईशांत भाई
fast
कैसे
enough
हो
to
यार?
allow them to pick up
भाई तुम मेरे असली
both
भाई हो यार,
This
इतना
time
याद
ramp
रखना.
and outer are both going to be
भले
contested.
इतने दिन बाद
We
आए
have
हो भाई,
Derek
बट
trying
फिर
to
भी
approach ramp. Meanwhile,
मैं खुद
Deathmaker
नहीं
has
था
been
भाई.
smoked off, so he can't play it
क्या
just
हाल?
now. He can
अबे ईशान भाई
exploit that
इंस्टाग्राम पे
complete
फॉलो
gap.
करो ना.
But at this
बात
point, they're
करते.
probably just going to make their way in, and Sai's already been taken out towards ramp.
अबे साई मर गया
That's a
भाई.
disaster. And now they're already in towards the lower ramp.
ये भाई ये भी
Excali
गया.
tries to help them out as well, but he will be taken down in the process. Amaterasu does manage to bring one back. That's onto Derek, who was towards ramp. We spotted him before. Skills also trying to chime in, but the SG is just too strong to be dealt with. Deathmaker with a nice shot onto Wits. Good stuff, but at this point there's no information gathered because Bren are all over the map. Entity can't get any actionable information, and they will go for the save on the opposite ends of the map.
The main goal here is to keep Deathmaker alive, to keep the AWP alive. Because right now, that's the only weapon that's
अबे
delivering
कहाँ
impact
सेव
for
कर रहा है?
Entity.
एक उल्टे
There's
एक
been very
सीटी
less
एक
of
टी
it.
साइड.
Bren,
साथ में सेव करो ना भाई,
they've been
कवर भी
steamrolling
मिले.
out of control. Entity's defense simply not ready for the overwhelming speed that Bren are coming in with. I don't even think Excali spotted the man in through
भाई लोग चैट में
through
गो
vents, 'cause
एंटिटी यार,
that
come on.
push was so quick, and the smoke helped as cover. The information not relayed ended up costing Sai his life, and the B side ultimately falling in the end. 6-6. When we doubted Bren in the start, they delivered, and now they have a chance to extend their margins.
Come
Mind
on,
you, this
entity
is
boys.
eerily similar to what happened in day one. Exact same scoreline, exact same situation. I
Yep.
just hope we don't have a rinse and repeat.
On day one, Entity went off to a flying 4-0 start before Bren shut them down. This time they had something even better. They had 6-1, but now Bren have won 5 rounds in a row, and quite frankly, I don't know if Entity Gaming looks too healthy at this point. They're going to be heading up towards lobby, and this looks to be a straight up A push from all the directions. They've already leaked into Squeaky. Amaterasu can't hold
अबे
on
गए
for much
भाई
longer.
गए.
The
ये लोग
rotations
गाइस
aren't
कल जैसा
here,
सीन हो
and
गया
Deathmaker
वापस.
has been locked off the action
अबे
as
मैं
well, so
expect
he
कर
can't
ही
even
रहा था
use
भाई, ऐसा ही
his
होगा.
op to help out his teammates. They're going to have to go in for this retake, which looks pretty difficult given it's a 3 versus 5. They
अबे
have
चोक
utility.
कर जाती है
They
भाई ये
can cover
टीम
off some
बाहर में.
certain areas like the cabs and the Squeaky using the smokes. One
No,
Molotov can
no,
be
not
used as
Indians.
well.
One is
But other
Indian
than that,
and
it looks
the
pretty
second
impossible.
is
They
from
most likely
someone
will set up
else.
and go for exit kills.
अबे गए भाई
Either
कसम
way,
से गए.
Bren have taken the lead and they're up 7-6. I don't know if Entity can recover from this. 7 rounds on the T side is way too much comfort, to be honest.
अबे 6-1 के लीड पे थे एंटिटी. 6-1 अब हो गया 7-6. कल भी ऐसा ही था. 4-0 लीड कर रहे थे और हाफ हुआ 10-5 ओपोनेंट की तरफ में. बताओ.
They are playing off each other here. The entirety of Bren being picked off like flies. Derek, the double peak might come and no. Skills, he goes down alone. Really shouldn't have taken that fight there, considering his teammate was at low HP. A passive stance would have helped him much better. And if they would have had that rifle saved, perhaps Deathmaker, I mean, perhaps Skills could have gone alongside the rifle. A bit of utility, but that doesn't seem like the case for now, as he will only have a smoke to work with. Entity. It's been looking a little dry lately, but Bren have been on point. Can't really blame Entity as well. They're so outpaced in the situation, they're not really able to deal with the fast plays. And that's coming to prove fatal time and time and again. Through the wall, Cali gets tagged. It's just so much damage even before the initial players meet eye to eye. They're already dealing so much damage.
Looks like this time they want to deal damage towards ramp once again, and Skills is gonna be in a lot of trouble. They might even
ए देखो ये अटैक कर रहे हैं सब एक साथ अटैक करते भाई. यही ऐसे होना चाहिए.
just walk all the way in towards hell right now. Skills got to be super careful. He's reeling the information to his team. Sai and one more person have moved in, but Skills
Oh.
gets instantly deleted. Sai needs to hold on alongside Excali from the radio room. But
Oh,
they
bhai
are getting
sahab.
plummeted by the SGs, and there is nothing standing in the way of Bren. They demolish everything they see.
भाई खत्म है
He's
ये.
able to get the kill onto Borkum as he tries to make his way down Wentz. But this is just a consolation kill at this point. There's no way they can go for this retake.
Exactly, they're already setting up for the save. They're not believers. Deathmaker heading all the way in through spawn. And Amaterasu tries to play in from under heaven. And this is just not the entity that we saw earlier on in the half. This is not the entity we all know and love. They're getting decimated on the CT side, and mind you, in the T side, it's going to be all the harder because Bren, they're not going to give away any real estate for free. They're going to be contesting on every single area of the map, and considering that this is their pick, this might just be entities undoing in the first map. But like you said, Crips, Mirage is a map which entity are generally comfortable with. We might see that go the other way, and being that the decider is on train and entity were comfortable enough not to ban it on the veto, we might just have a show at our hands, but the show doesn't have that great of a start.
It had a great of a start if you're a fan of Entity, but at this point it's just turned into a repeat of the last map. I mean, the last game yesterday. Huh. Last round of the first half. Looks like Entity have thrown everything into the mix. I did notice that Entity have
ईशांत
stopped
भाई, ये
doing
वाला
the
है, ये
ballsy
वाला.
plays that they did initially. I
ईशांत
remember
भाई
Sai
मैंने
going
चैट
through
में
those
लिखा है
smokes and
वो वाला
laying his
इंस्टा.
mines out on the outer side, and this time he's taken the M4 over there.
मैंने चेंज
Looks
किया
like
था
Entity
ये.
do want to switch things up once again, but Sai's been
अबे
immediately
यार ये
tagged
साई भाई
and
हर बार
bagged.
मर जाता भाई पहले राउंड में. कहाँ का भाई
Buzzman
समझ ही
instantly
नहीं आता
netted
मेरे को.
from Bren.
हाँ, कसम.
Again, we've been talking about that pacing, Crips.
बे
A
हर
minute
बार
30
मर
on the
जाता भाई
clock, and
फर्स्ट राउंड
already
में.
a man down. And mind you, it is Sai, one of the MVPs of Entity, who has been consistently delivering for his team. Excali, good off angle, but immediately spotted out. Pappy takes him down to 3 HP. A tickle of a feather would do enough to take him down. Ooh,
मरेगा ये.
that wallbang came so close to
ओ
hitting.
भाई साहब.
That came damn near close.
मेरे को
And
लगा
now,
सुसाइड होगा भाई
Entity, they're
एवेंट
put in
से
a
वहाँ
box. They
कूद
don't
के.
really know how to break through. Deathmaker is the only saving grace here. He's playing in through ramp, but he needs to be worried about both Hell and ramp at the same time. And lobby at the same time, which might be a huge issue because Bren, they're spreading their offense thin, but at the same time, the thin offense is strong enough to cut through the paper of Entity's defense.
Deathmaker, he's feeling adventurous. He wants to gather information, wants to know whether they are towards the lobby or not. Bren have taken reverse positions. They are all the
अबे
way
यार
up
ऊपर
towards
बैठा हुआ है.
the heavens as well. And at this point, they have so much map control. Entity really can't do much against them. The only option
Lol.
they had was to go aggressive and try to take some plays of their own rather than be at the mercy of Bren. Deathmaker will manage to get the kill onto Derek, and his position's being spotted. The AWP isn't really the best weapon to have in close angles like these, but maybe Amaterasu can throw a spanner in the works. He can pop out at the last possible moment. The flashbang is perfect, and he will peek on the back of it, but no, he ends up flashing himself.
अबे अपने आप
There's
पे
another
फ्लैश
one.
कर लिया
He'll commit
लॉल.
the same mistake this time, but there's too many people watching this murder hole. Deathmaker needs
Lol.
to save him, and a nade blows up right in his face.
क्या करना क्या चाह
Borkum
रहा है
jumps
ये?
down to get the final frag. 9-6. And the scoreboard,
भाई
it says it all.
तुम तुम दे तुम देखो भाई 3-3-6 पहला राउंड ये जीते फिर 6 राउंड का कमबैक मारा एनटीटी ने फिर देखो 1 2 3 4 भाई 8 राउंड कंटिन्यूस 8 राउंड वो भी टी साइड में तुम भाई देखो अब मैं क्या बोलूं अब कल भी यही हुआ था भाई गुस्सा आ रहा है क्योंकि कल भी सेम टू सेम हुआ था भाई सेम अबे भाई गुस्सा आ रहा है यार अब क्या यार
Nuke and Vertigo. That's what they ban all the time. Not sure how the veto went around this time, but we did know that Entity did not stand much of a chance in the first map, so they are already playing at a disadvantage as they will be starting 1-0 in the series. They desperately need to win Mirage and they need to pull off something amazing on that one. We saw
I
how
think
prepared Bren is
Bren
for this
is from
map
China.
because they showed
China है
so
शायद
many diverse tactics on the T side.
अबे लिक्विड भाई पता नहीं
Out
यार
of the 5-6 times that they went outer,
अजीब खेल रहे हैं अजीब
once they crunched in towards the A side by sending 2 of the players from Cab and Squeaky respectively, then dropping down towards Mini Garage. That was one instance of their outer rush. The other time, they did a B crunch by sending people down Secret and Ramp. The third time, we saw them use outer and
Philippines
get towards Heavens.
ब्रेन
And
फिलीपींस
these three
की टीम
variations
है
of the
गाइस
same area, it
अबे
just shows
पिनॉय
how
लोग है
prepared they
भाई
are and
सही
how
खेलते
deep
हैं
their playbook is. In order for Entity
वे
to
8
stop
राउंड
them,
का
they did
कमबैक
not
मारा
just
है
need
भाई
to hit their
मजाक है क्या
shots and predict what Bren were doing. At the same time, they needed to be on their feet and adapt to the ever-changing playstyle of Bren Esports, which, quite frankly, is really difficult to do.
Especially on a map like Nuke, where you
Especially on
know
a
that
map
you're
like
not
Nuke.
comfortable, where you know that you are not comfortable as a team. Rotations is what this map is based upon. Rotation and good off angles alongside utility usage. We haven't seen much from Entity in the first half, but let's hope that they have something to show in the second. Pistol is going to be a really important aspect of this. And skills already picking up utility, a smoke and a Molotov. I think it's Scally shit. I think Sai should. Somebody else has to go for utility. They need some kind of flashes. There we go. Sai picks up another smoke and 2 flashes. The 2 smokes might suggest a hit in towards A with them smoking in towards heavens and flashing in from the roof.
देखो भाई क्या
Seems
होता
like
है
Bren are more than
पिस्टल राउंड
prepared.
मेन है
They have 4 men stacked in to defend the A bomb site, and now Entity slowing down the pace. They want map control. They want to take this as slow as they can. Make sure that their corners are clear, that they dot their I's and cross their T's. But at this point, T's are going to be having it pretty hard.
They have 2 people towards ramp who can immediately go in and backstab them if Entity do decide to hit the A bomb site via Cab and Squeaky. On top of that, 3 people are holding a nice crossfire with Papi Chulo. I don't think anybody will be checking this position first. They will be too concerned about the top of hut, behind the silo, and on top of heaven. So Papi Chulo can
भाई
get
देखो
some.
यूटिलिटी तो भाई
He
क्या है
can at
इन्होंने
least get a
देखो
multi-kill
क्या
from that
स्मोक
area.
करते हैं
Sai throws in the smoke. And here we go. They come rushing in. Will they be able to stand
अबे
down?
हेवन का
Papi Chulo, he
स्मोक
does
फेल
manage to
हो
get
गया
one
भाई
tapping away. Derek chimes in from above
GG.
with yet another. Amaterasu gets 2 of them. Amazing stuff from Amaterasu, but he needs to stay alive. There is one person on top of him, and that's going to be Witz. He gets executed. Bro with only 8 HP needs to land a nice one tap, but the HP advantage is in favor of Entity Gaming.
भाई साई
Sai
ने
and
हेवन
Skills
स्मोक फेल
trying
दे
to
दिया
fight them both at once, but Skills will fall. Sai has 100 HP. He can get this round in the bag. He disappeared, so that probably might
अबे
hint
जंप कर दिया भाई
to
लॉल
Bren Esports that he might have gone towards the B side, but they are not moving. They are not moving just yet. They know that Sai can throw in some shenanigans, and here come the shenanigans. The clock, it delivers the results. He needs to find the second player before he goes for the plant, but there's not enough time. Pro, this is the perfect chance for him to go ahead and get that kill. Both of them on very low HP now, and Pro comes out on
Oh.
top. Entity desperately needed to win that round, but Bren Esports standing over them and showing how dominant they are.
Exactly. Sai tried to come into the mind game there. I like jump there. Tried to the fact he jumped in at ramp and tried to bait the rotation in through hell. Sadly, it didn't work out in their favor, but at least the distraction, and he was able to capitalize on the back of that. For now, Bren, they won out the pistol round. They have a comforting
यार
start to the
कम
second
ऑन
half by
भाई
already
कम
hitting
ऑन
double digits, and they're off to a good start. Entity on the other end, they're going to be struggling. Their economy, it'll be in shambles initially, and they have pistols to compensate for that. But again, if they feed into the MP9s, Bren's economy will become far out of bounds.
I don't think economy is the thing that need to be worried about now. The first 3 rounds definitely will be going in the favor of Bren, given how much momentum they have and the weapons. They got an AUG onto Pro who's watching ramp, which is gonna make it almost impossible for them to get out of this area. Sai gets tagged with the scout, so he knows where exactly the sniper rifle is. Knows that they won't be having the AWP as well, which is very unlikely in the second round itself. But then all of Entity are trying to bunch up towards ramp, and they will now be in for a slaughterhouse. Borkum playing up close with the SMG. He should be able to get himself a lot of money. 1, 2, 3, they all fall down, and he almost gets himself an ace. Sai finally stops him at the quad kill, but Wits will eliminate Sai right away.
Exactly. Bren, they feed into the SMGs, and now Entity Gaming are going to be on the buy, but
ये
can't really take on a head-to-head fight. Bren seems to step ahead at every single turn, and Entity Gaming, they're going to feel the wrath of it on the CT when they're on the T side.
Guys, this round
now,
is very important
Scout on the
for
Wits.
Entity.
He's going to be watching in through outer while the M4s will
ये round
guard
नहीं
into
जीत
its
पाए
ramp.
तो guys हार गए
And
ये वाला
Entity,
map.
they have a lot of smokes at their disposal, and they want to use it towards out, getting secret control, and maybe crunch towards B. That could be a likely scenario, but Pro has already set himself up in through secret, which all he needs to do is cover in through a entrance. That's all his job is, and if he does that well, it'll become very hard for Entity to gain grounds into its outer, even though they have control.
They throw in the
flash
Molotov,
का
but
call
they
है,
don't
देख रहे हो
consider
guys?
Pro to be here. He can catch all of them off guard, but now he's been spotted. Amaterasu has given the information to his teammates. At this point, Entity can chill out. They know that Bren have way too much out of control, but they can hold them down right here if they don't keep falling apart.
Initial frag gain. Derek is down, and now they have a little bit of something to gamble with, but Borkum coming in with a response, gets the first and does not need to overpress. Wits is down to 19 points of health, and he needs to try playing passive with the support that Borkum is going to deliver him. But now, they have a lot of control to work off, but Entity, they're losing men here. Excalibur, and they need to decide which side they're going to hit.
Ooh, Sai almost got the kill onto Borkum over there. Surviving with his teeth and
अबे एक-एक करके जाके मर रहे भाई ये.
range to his advantage. The SG finally will fire upon Pro, and this time he could have gotten the kill onto Wits as well. He's pretty low, but is there a backstab coming in for Amaterasu? He's paranoid about that. Luckily, there is none yet.
Guys,
But the chances of him making it into some other part of the map are really low. They even got the B side covered. 10 seconds left. He's got to make a move. There's not enough time to check each and every angle.
भाई
and
last
obviously
9
in
सेकंड में
that
भाई
space,
साइड भी तो
PUBG
क्लियर
will
करना है
take
मेरे भाई.
advantage and put Bren on the 12th round.
गाइस तुम देख रहे थे भाई ब्रेन जो टीम है भाई चारों पांचों एक साथ जा रहे थे 4 जन एक साथ और एक क्लास लग कर रहा था. यहाँ तो भाई एक एक करके मर रहे भाई. ये मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा लॉजिक इनका. भाई देखो तुम ही देखो यार एक एक करके जा रही है.
That they couldn't make use of it properly. So I don't know how they're gonna get rid of this. Amaterasu with the hero AK meta. Let's hope it pays off dividends.
You have to hope at this point that they at least do damage if not win the round. Amaterasu going to be the sole player in through Hut. Gets the initial kill on a Papi, but Burn, look at that position. They're collapsing in towards the A side from both the front and the back lines. Borkum from the back lines is going to be the person who's going to put all the pressure on Entity because they know that they're boxed in now. They need to try planting the bomb and play for the post plant in a very one-done position. Look at Deathmaker. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know where to approach the situation because there's always pressure regardless where they go. It's being pressure applied all across, and at that point, you just scored the bubble.
The players of Bren Esports
भाई इसको बोलते हैं यूटिलिटी यूसेज भाई. प्लांट ही नहीं कर पा रहे ओपोनेंट वाले.
before finally hitting the ground.
सही खेल रहे हैं.
And at that point, Bren Esports decided not to fight Entity right off the bat, but they waited for Entity to get into the bomb site and start planting the bomb. Because they knew that they can't plant the bomb.
Yes, guys, best of 3 है ये.
And since
This
they
is
were
the
already
first
so
map.
low, they took their sweet time, pushed in all at once. They waited for the players to get into positions towards Mini, towards Heaven, and towards Cabinet behind them. And then, when everyone's in position, they finally spring the trap.
अबे यार ये गेम निकाल देगा भाई ये.
Playing on the edges of the smoke. If Excali does not check this, he might just be in for a
निकाल
surprise. Derek finally eliminates him and Pro strikes from the shadows. Sai needs to get rid of him right now, and he does so. But his teammates and everyone else has fallen.
भाई 20-30 सेकंड में तो भाई राउंड ही खत्म हो जा रहा है. अबे यार.
Exactly. The fast plays, they were not ready for this whatsoever. The instant refrags in through outer Bren, even though they did face stiff for position, they stood mighty in front and they stood mighty at the end as well. Entity, 2 rounds away from calling it quits in map 1. Again, T side of Nuke, not really the best if that's not his strongest suit. So, kind of expected this before the side swap in all honesty. But let's see if Entity still has any gas left in the tank.
Well, if they had gas left in the tank, the car has come to a standstill as Entity Gaming will be holding on towards the
अबे
lobby
भाई
area.
ट्रेड
Marcus
गेम है
does
इनका
manage to
गॉड
get the
लेवल.
kill onto an over-aggressive Borkum, immediately gets faded out by Wits. Now, Entity Gaming, they gotta be wondering if this is the only op available or if they have another one towards outer. They know that the op is towards ramp, and they probably might try to go somewhere else from here. And that somewhere else is gonna be the A site. Papi Chulo in the middle of the site is holding down strong with the SG, at least for now, but Entity Gaming start to get the kills. Pros outside, and Wits is coming in from the back
नाइस
lines. He
रहो
will
भाई,
be taken
ऐसे
care
खेलो
of.
ना भाई,
Finally, Entity Gaming
साथ में
managed
रह
to
के
salvage
भाई.
one round. They have
अकेले
been trying to
अकेले
hit
खेल
the A
तो भाई
site for
कैसे
so
हुआ.
many rounds. They finally find success.
Pro will be able to save all his utility, gun, and the defuse kit for the next round. And mind you, Bren already have a very strong economy, so they can invest in the next round. But if they start losing the next one, then it might be a problem. Then their economy will be in channels, and Entity will finally get the momentum that they need. But so far, with the way that Bren have been winning, it doesn't look like it's from circumstance. It's been completely outclassing Entity on this map, especially on their CT side. Their defense, it looks solid as a rock. And well, Entity being stuck between a rock and a hard place, the hard place might just be the second map.
That's a do or die situation for Entity. Survival is at stake here, and this is an elimination match. The best of 3, whoever loses this will go home. Entity did put up a good fight against Revolution, but Borkum,
ओ
Jesus Christ!
भाई.
1 shot, 2 kills, and he collaterals them all. Picks up a third one as well, and he's well on his way to get the ace. Almost misses the shot on the side, but he will not be able to
अबे ये
connect
तो
it once
कूद
again.
कूद
As
के
Sai
मार रहा है
finally
भाई.
shuts him
ओ
down, and Sai
नाइस
shows
वन.
up with 2 of his own. He knows there's
ओ
more coming. He needs to step up, and he steps up massively. Deathmaker helps him out,
Bill.
and somehow they're salvaging this round. LTD Gaming, after losing almost everything, gets trapped towards ramp.
LOL.
And when Bren tried to rush them down, they show that in individual aim battles, they cannot be bested so easily.
अबे अंडर
Sai
एस्टिमेट कर रहे थे भाई,
finally
पिट
finding
गए.
a bit of form.
LOL.
Individual brilliance with the AWP shining over Bren. And the round potential turns merely into a shadow. And now Entity given a lifeline to survive. For a second, we assume for the worst, Crips, but Sai, with his massive biceps, steps up to the fray. Brent, their economy is broken. They have nothing to fall back upon. Now, they essentially have to concede double digits to Entity. Hey, why not? Man has pretty big muscles.
चलो भाई को ये निकालो यार.
Venomous, like, he is professional bodybuilder. Sai, part-time bodybuilder, part-time gamer. Skips his way through both. Well, you don't essentially have to only lift weights to get muscles, right?
bhai, nice round.
Well,
अबे जैक कमबैक नहीं होगा यार, लगता नहीं है.
exactly. His positioning has been great throughout the entire game, stepping up for his team massively when his team most. And now they did lose the op on his side, and they're not going to reinvest into it. They want to go the conventional rifle route. Will that be enough is the question.
Next map is Mirage, I think.
Bren.
Uh, Let me check. Hold. Next match Mirage. Oh, nice. क्या हो गया?
Entity suddenly finding a bit of form. Bren losing some as well. They do gain an AK on the back of this round, and now they can investment. Wits can go back to his AWP. Entity gaining a 10th round on the board, but now they're going to come up against a buy. A full one in that as well, with a lot of utility up on the board for Bren to fully exploit. Outer control, aggression through outer,
Mirage है, Mirage है, हाँ,
aggression
right,
through
right.
ramp. What do you think Bren should do differently here?
भाई 4 राउंड चाहिए guys, 4 राउंड. Guys, never lose hope. निकाल भी
Well,
सकती है.
for now, Wits still continuing to dominate outers. An Entity, they have a strong hold here. They're trying to set up smoking towards A yet again. Amaterasu is just ready to pounce on towards the A side. If Amaterasu doesn't succeed in finding frags, they'll gain out of control, pulling in the players towards A and potentially heading down secret. Luckily, he does have backup coming in too. They did hear Pro come up the ladder, and Deathmaker has his eye tuned to this position. Pro's the first faculty, but Papa stepping up, and now it's just Entity getting decimated on the offense. Skills, luckily to find a kill though. 3 versus 2. He's keeping the dream alive here. If he doubles up, it might be a huge issue for Bren, but luckily they're in safe hands. Poppy going Papa on them, giving all of them a huge spanking as they come out of the door. And Entity, they do get the initial entry, but that's all they were going to find. After that circumstance, it was Bren with that crossfire in through Heaven and Hut that ultimately pincered every single one on the entry. And Skills, for as much success as he did find getting the refrag, you realistically couldn't expect him to get more because they would have had their eyes trained to his position regardless where he came out of.
Oh my god, what is happening? No, I don't think they'll give a copyright. अबे दे भी दे तो देने दे भाई. कौन सा they'll become Bill Gates if they copyright.
Exactly. At least the danger man is eliminated from the situation. Now, Entity, with the slight advantage here. Let's see if they can even widen the margins. The silver lining here is Bren, the low and defensive utility. Smoke, a Molotov, two flashes and a nade is all they have. Sai going aggressive. Might find the initial entry in through ramp. The flash certainly comes in. They spot a play. Tag initially comes in, but he's able to de-aggress through ramp. Safety return, but Pappy, he overextends, gets caught off guard by skills, and that will be the call. Hit the B-bomb stand and hit it now. Luckily, Bren, they know it as well. The rotations is immediately in. All three players coming down in through ramp as all three players coming down through vents as position already gained but not capitalized yet upon. Derek works on the back of distraction that Borkum just bought. Will be able to get a frag, but that's all he's gonna find now. The bomb dropped as well. Side a little too adventurous on the peak. Ends up going down. A 2 versus 2. Now
कैसे
it's
पीक
winnable for
ले रहे
Bren.
हो आज?
Borkum has a great positioning. He can cover up anyone coming in from decon room, but Borkum now left all alone. His position was revealed as he fired that shot. Amaterasu can safely go for the plant here, while Technical covers him, but he gets eliminated, and he clutches it out in a 1v2.
भाई
That's it.
क्लच होगा भाई
1v2
लॉल.
clutch to end the game. An Entity, they will have to show us what they're made of on Mirage.
A valiant effort from them. A good start in the first half, but hell, this is not their map pick. We didn't expect them to win this in the first place. They gave a good fight. 16-10, a very respectable scoreline as well. They have a lot going in their favor. Let's hope Mirage is something that lightens up their mood.
ओके गाइस, पहला मैप तो भाई
It
वापस हार
definitely
गया
has
यार.
to.
गाइस इतना
Otherwise,
अच्छा
they're gonna
लीड
be out of the
लेने के बाद
tournament.
वापस हार
I
गए भाई.
hope
बोलो
Entity have
क्या
prepared enough
होगा
for
भाई,
Mirage,
बताओ.
because if they haven't, Bren, they probably will be thanking their lucky
अबे
stars to
यार
match against the
अनलकी हो
same
गया
team
यार
again and again.
वापस. चलो गाइस कोई नहीं. और एक मैप है, बेस्ट ऑफ 3 है गाइस. ओके गेमर पुलकित, आई विल डू दैट. चलो गाइस, अभी मिराज है. जब तक मिराज चालू होता है तब तक एक काम करते हैं. डेथ मैच खेले क्या गाइस? गाइस टेल मी यार क्या करना चाहिए. 10 मिनट बाद चालू होगा शायद मैप, नेक्स्ट मैप. I know bro, NTT is the best team in India right now, but when they go to China or any other international tournament, they choke, I think. That's the sad part. They choke, bro. Yesterday also they had a good start and a bad end. That's unlucky for them, bro. Okay, guys, we'll play Counter Strike for 10 minutes and then we'll watch the match again. अभी चालू होने में टाइम है. Next है मिराज. Okay. Mirage would be a good map. I'm no sure, yeah. एनिमे साइनी भाई लिंक. भाई मैं तो उसका लिंक विंक पे नहीं देख रहा भाई. मैं डायरेक्ट उसका क्लिक कर रहा हूँ और खुल जा रहा है वो. HLTV पे देख रहा हूँ यार. इजी. दुबे जी आई थिंक सो 10 मिनट बाद चालू होगा भाई. 10 मिनट अप्रोक्स. गाइस 10 मिनट में चालू होगा, तब तक अपने 1v1 खेलते आ जाओ. अरे अनिमेश भाई मैं HLTV पे देख रहा हूँ यार, ट्विच पे नहीं देख रहा. साई कैसा खेला भाई? इतना अच्छा नहीं खेला यार. इतना अच्छा नहीं खेला जितना एक्सपेक्टेड था. गाइस 10 मिनट
अरे
में
लॉल
चालू होगा
कैसे?
मैच. टिल देन विल हैव 1v1 फॉर टाइम पास. 10 मिनट में गेम. टाइम पास करने के लिए खेलना पड़ेगा ना बॉयज. गाइस डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब यार, अगर नए हो चैनल पे तो प्लीज लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब बॉयज. करना है. मैं कहाँ से फोन होता है पता ही नहीं. ये रहा. मेरा
Double kill!
It is time now, my brother.
अबे लॉल भाई मैं पहली बार खेल रहा हूँ भाई ये मैप लॉल
Lock and load.
Boys. GT.
Let's go, my brother.
तू कब ज्वाइन कर रहा अबे मेरे पे टाइम ही नहीं है भाई ये CS:GO खेलने के लिए तो भाई मैं एंटी टीम के लिए जल्दी आ रहा हूँ भाई कि मैच देखना है मेरे को इंडिया वाले का तो मैं जल्दी आता हूँ ऑफिस से
Double kill!
Just for my boys I'm coming early
Let's go, everyone.
गाइस 5-6 मिनट टाइम है गाइस बस ज्यादा नहीं
Let's go, let's go.
I don't do that lol
This is all five.
Double kill!
भाई ये तो एक्ट हो गया चिल मारो फ्रेंड्स 5 मिनट टाइम अपने पे तक वन टैप देखो वन टैप पुतांगी नामो गो
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
never mind boys देखो प्रो जाना चाहिए अब भाई मेरे पे टाइम ही नहीं है यार पहले भाई 5-6 घंटा मिनिमम खेलता था गेम
Move it.
अब भाई टाइम ही नहीं हो रहा
Headshot!
वन टैप फॉर द विन लेट्स गो टाइम पास के लिए खेलता हूँ आजकल यार 1-1.5 घंटा बहुत
Good job, man. Good job.
let's see boys guys I think 4 minutes left कितना एक सेकंड लेट मी चेक गाइस नेक्स्ट मैप मिराज होने वाला है यार आई थिंक गाइस एंटिटी निकाल लेगी ये मैप ये मिराज बहुत ज्यादा खेलते हैं इंडिया में देखो क्या होता है कितना मिनट है दिखा नहीं रहा कितना मिनट है वैसे तो बट लेट्स सी
We are Oscar Mike. Forward.
नाइफ राउंड पे भाई अबे यार शिट वन टैप बॉयज फॉर
Grab
यू
your
गाइस
gear,
लेट्स
let's
गो
go.
Headshot!
वन टैप फॉर यू गाइस Guys, don't forget to like the stream, यार. Come on.
Double kill.
I have faith in Mirage. भाई ब्रेन को भी आता ही होगा भाई मिराज. एनटीटी का पिक है गाइस वैसे मिराज तो, लेकिन फिर भी इट विल बी अ गुड मैच फॉर श्योर. No doubt it's gonna be a good match. वैसे मेरे को तो साल हो गए भाई टेक 9 चलाए हुए. 10-15 साल हो गए अप्रोक्स. भाई इतने दिन बाद चला रहा हूँ मैं ये टेक 9. अबे लेकिन भाई ये इंडिया में तो भाई इतना सही खेलते कि भाई अनबीटेबल डेथ मेकर का भाई एम ऐसा कि भाई कोई हरा नहीं पाता है. लेकिन जब बाहर जाते हैं इंटरनेशनल तब ये अलग ही हो जाते हैं यार. इंडिया में अलग खेलते, बाहर अलग खेलते हैं. मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेशर, मे बी.
Let's move out. Push.
हाँ हाँ अबे चोक तो करते ही है भाई, ये तो नो डाउट करते हैं. ऑपरेंट नहीं है क्या मेरा?
Headshot.
वही में चुचू को आ नहीं रहा भाई वहाँ क्या.
Guys, I tell you, we kill them all.
अबे नाइफ राउंड तो बंद करो यार. भाई बस नाइफ राउंड दिए जा रही है.
Double kill.
ओनली नाइफ राउंड्स का मोड लगा.
Triple kill.
मामा क्या बोल रही है?
Being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out.
गैस चालू होने वाला है मेरे को लग रहा है. स्टीम तो चालू है, देखते हैं.
Let's move.
को शाम के बाद देखते हैं.
Dominating.
Easiest kill of my life. अबे हाँ भाई इंडिया में बहुत अलग लेवल खेलते हैं शौर्य, जानता नहीं है तू. भाई ऐसा खेलते कि भाई हम किसी से डरते नहीं, वैसा वाला.
Combo whore.
और बाहर जाके भाई भीगी बिल्ली बन जाते वहाँ का. मैंने देखा भाई, फैक्ट है ये. क्या हुआ इनका?
They love to hate, but hate to live.
अब अभी तक गाइस अभी तक चालू नहीं हुआ यार.
Rampage.
शॉट.
Move it.
लॉस आ गया था गाइस बीच में. लेट्स गो चाइना. भाई ये क्या नाम है, वीची गेमिंग करके है, वो जीत जाएगी मेरे को लग रहा है. जो एंटिटी जिस टूर्नामेंट खेल रही है वहाँ वीची गेमिंग करके भी है.
Headshot.
जीत जाएगी. क्या स्कोर हुआ है? रुको गाइस, अभी तक चालू नहीं हुआ भाई लोग. चिल मारो। गाइस गेम चालू होने में टाइम है।
Come on, let's go.
3-4 मिनट और टाइम है मेरे हिसाब से। भाई दिख ही नहीं रहा था। Guys don't forget to like and subscribe. Come on boys. मैं फेस कैम नहीं कर रहा भाई आज, क्योंकि मेरे को बस मैच स्ट्रीम करना है। मैं सोच रहा हूँ फेस इट नहीं खेल रहा अभी। Only streaming the match for you guys.
Time to earn our stories.
Oh भाई don't tell me. यार हेड पे था यार, come on. Oh my god, what is wrong with my aim? नाइफ करूँ क्या इसको? अबे यार स्पॉट हो गया मैं। गाइस फर्स्ट शॉट कनेक्ट होना चाहिए था यार। आई एम नूब। भाई मिराज वाला मैप में कमेंट्री वगैरह नहीं दे रहा भाई, बस स्ट्रीम चालू कर
Now is
दूंगा।
the time.
शौर्य आई थिंक सो। हाँ 800 नहीं 3200
Double kill.
3200 DPI है भाई। पता नहीं ऐसा क्यों मेरे को अपना लॉजिटेक का बताता है कि मैं DPI is 3200 और रियल। भाई उनका मैच चालू होगा, मैं स्ट्रीम चालू कर दूंगा भाई, माइक म्यूट बस तुम। जाऊंगा कुछ खा भाई। कैंप मत कर भाई उधर भाई, हर एक राउंड वहीं छुप के बैठा रहता है।
We are good to go.
Headshot.
He trying to cut my chutia, but he can't.
Now is the time.
भाई यार शोर है भाई। भाई पुराने जो भी व्यूअर्स थे भाई अपने, भाई दूसरे वाले चैनल में बैठे रहते हैं यार, सब दूसरे चैनल में बैठे रहते हैं। भाई क्या करूं भाई, क्या करूं? भाई चालू ही नहीं हो रहा भाई मैच। अबे यार मैंने एक साल वापस अभी स्ट्रीमिंग छोड़ दी ना भाई, बहुत ज्यादा फर्क पड़ेगा चैनल में भाई, कसम से बहुत ज्यादा फर्क। Guys, match will start in 5 minutes more, I think. Start चालू ही नहीं हो रहा भाई। They are on a big break.
Headshot.
Come on, let's go.
Okay guys, मिराज चालू होने वाला है, ये वार्म अप कर रहा है अभी।
Double kill.
Let's go.
It is time now, my brothers.
Triple kill.
Oh, let's go. Guys, मैप चालू हो गया है अभी. They are doing warm ups. चालू हो गया. नहीं वार्म अप चल रहा है अभी तक.
This is our fight.
भाई मेरे यहाँ तो वार्म अप चल रहा है बहुत. अबे भाई मेरे यहाँ वार्म अप चल रहा है.
Dominating!
I don't know why. गाइस अभी 2-3 मिनट और लग जाएगा.
This is what we have been working for.
Combo whore!
अबे वहीं पे बैठा रहता है ये. वहीं पे पता नहीं क्यों. हाँ दुबे जी अभी वार्म अप चल रहा है. होगा 2 मिनट में चालू हो जाएगा. गाइस मैप होल्ड करो, रुको यहीं पे. अभी वार्म अप चल रहा है. 2 मिनट में लाइव कर देंगे. 2 मिनट होल्ड मारो. ओहो लेट्स गो. वैसे गाइस जो भाई मेरे साथ नहीं थे इतने दिन से, तुम्हारा भाई क्या ये अपने को क्या मिला था. ये रहा गाइस, अपने को बर्लिन का ये मिला था. अबे यार इसको कैसे देखते हैं. एक तो बर्लिन वाला डायमंड कॉइन मिला था, ठीक है ना. और फिर बाद में हम लोग को मिला, क्या मिला, ये रहा कैटोविस का अपने को मिला था. अबे एक्सपेक्टेड कैसे करे भाई, ये शिट है. दोनों गाइस दोनों मेजर अपने किए और दोनों पे अपने को ये मिला डायमंड. आई होप यू गाइस आर प्राउड ऑफ मी. कसम वाक. लगा दे भाई. हाँ लगा रहा हूँ भाई, लगा रहा हूँ बस. भाई मैं म्यूट होके बैठ रहा हूँ भाई, कमेंट ही नहीं दे रहा मैं. गाइस चालू हो गया, ये लो देख लो तुम, एंजॉय.
Bren cannot really do the same. I mean, they could do so, but they'll have very limited information to go back on. So, as far as I can see, it's Bren just focusing on their own game rather than trying to counter-strat Entity.
Exactly. For now, they're focusing on their strengths, negating Entity's weakness, and that ultimately carried them through Nuke. Let's see if it can carry them through Mirage as well. But now it's going to be Entity starting off on the T side. Amaterasu and Skills, the utility players in the mix, has 2 smokes and 4 flashes at their disposal, and they look to aim them towards the A bomb side. A bomb side in which wherever we've seen Mirage is the most likely side to be hit with utility. Let's see if Bren are ready. They suddenly seem ready, having 3 players stacked and 1 player in terms of what's already in the rotation. This is going to be a brawl, Crips.
This is going to be a brawl. The smokes land and they start pouring in. Borkum already takes way too much damage. The only person who can still fight is Pro, because he's the one who's not covered up by smokes, and the clocks are decimating everybody as they try to move in. Papichulo does manage to land a lucky headshot through the smoke or a calculated one. Either way, it doesn't matter, because Bren Esports are going to be on the retake now. They have a diffuse kit onto it. They have 2 smokes as well, so they can cut off a lot of post-plant positions, but Entity have gone aggressive towards the CT base. They want to take the fights right here and now and eliminate this part of the map entirely, so they don't have to worry about it. Papichulo has no potential to trade, and Wits getting fired upon by 1,000 guns at the same time. Entity Gaming will manage to take the first round with a considerable margin. Although, I wouldn't be too happy with this. Every game that Entity have played against Bren so far, Entity had a really good start. It's the middle of the half that begins to pose a problem for them. If you remember,
Exactly.
Entity had a great start on Nuke as well. Even yesterday on Train, they had a great start. Then I couldn't really say the same, because Bren made adjustments, and once they got adjusted enough to Entity's playstyle, they were able to counter them really well. Oh, Jesus. Nice shot by Deathmaker over there.
Gets taken down in return. Wits regressing into connector. That's what the scouts meant to do. Soften up the players so the Eagles can do the hard work, but this works up in return. Now, Entity Gaming's goal should be not to let the AK fall into its enemy's hands. For now, they have sort of regained control. They've forced Bren back to a passive stance. They have control in towards mid, and they're aiming towards A as two players alongside the bomb is just waiting to pounce on through. Before they are going in though, they're trying to counter aggression. They're trying to see and get as much information as they can before they do commit, and seems like that's gonna pay them in terms of gold because for now they've not walked into any kind of booby trap whatsoever. They're playing it slow, a minute left on the clock, guns are in their favor, utility is in their favor, everything is going in their favor for now. But let's hope when it does come down to the moment of truth, when it does come down to the engagements being taken, Bren do not come up massive with the pistols. Because we've seen that on multiple occasions and it's caused devastation across the board with the other team returning in favor as well.
Borkum had a flash primed. Now he finally throws in his nade. That could do a lot of damage. They also have Papi Chulo covering the window with the scouts. That should make it easy for Borkum to finish off the players as they try to fall into the site. And all the rotations have happened. The players have reached. Entity Gaming are gonna have to go for a 3-3 brawl in order to win this one. They do manage to take down most of them, but Wits, he's still alive. And he has to hit them both just one time each. Both of them are tagged up. If they double peak, they can win, and that's exactly what they do.
Well played from Entity there. Bren got really close to winning that round, but Entity were able to stabilize in the end and meant their fate to winning the round. Bren, considering their money now will be on pistol. Mind you, as soon as the gun round does come in, they can instantly force out the AWP. And Wits has been on point with this op thus far. You can't take credit from you can't take any credit away. The previous map, he was the one who was going berserk with the AWP, giving them some kind of hope on the T side. But let's see if the T side on Mirage will need any saving grace of size op. For now, Amaterasu being pressured a lot, and now that's really to his team as well. Does get a frag, but that's all he's gonna find. Bren, they get an AK on the back of the aggression, and now they might just even consider saving this. The bomb's going down. Entity, they're working on the back of a timer. They have a limited amount of time before they can take the AK off the hands of Derek. Are they gonna contest this? They have 2 AKs up on the board, but I doubt they'd really want to lose this.
Borkum can throw in a little surprise. I don't think Entity would expect him to come in from Palace at this hour, and they've all moved out to the bomb site. Does he have a... Oh, okay. Luckily, he does not have a defuse kit. Otherwise, this could have been such a big problem. He could have gone in for the ninja right the hell now. You know what? Even if he did not have the defuse kit, and if he started to move in early, he could have actually gotten the ninja. He had enough time. Entity don't know what they just missed. Luckily, neither do Bren. Finally, they will be able to purchase all the weapons, and now Entity need to survive this. Because to be honest, they did lose quite a lot of players in the first 3 rounds, and as a result, they don't have that great of a weaponry. They have to force down to Galils. And on the other side, Bren have the big green gun onto Wits. And that's gonna be really problematic.
Exactly, this is what I was afraid of. Will Entity Gaming be ready for this is the question. Bren, they have a lot of utility. And now, there's going to be a fake sold in towards A. Considering that Borkum is going aggressive in through B apartments, he might find the bomb in return. The smoke does separate them though, and the rotations already being committed by Entity. They want to contest mid-late, and they want to take the fight in a very gruesome manner. If not winning out the fights, at least halting the rotations for both Excali and Skills to get the bomb down and set up for post plans. Derek aggressing through short while Amaterasu comes in return. Borkum does get one. He spots the bomb, but Amaterasu takes Derek's head off. And that's the man advantage on the take. Entity Gaming, they have the side. The bomb should be going down momentarily, and Deathmaker coming in from the backstab will be able to clean out Pro, but Papi responds in kind. 3 versus 2. Bren keep the trade frag going, but they're in the bottom of the trade frag. Skills, punching in the digits. Forgets to punch in the final one. There we go. That's it all over again. Bren, the retake. Did they even attempt this is the question. Did they even want to risk the op on a Wits? They're better off on the save, perhaps.
Wits could have caught off Skills over there as he tried to jump in. If he would have gotten like 1 pick, then definitely Bren would have gone in for the retake. At this point, they're just better off saving their guns. Entity Gaming, they don't know what kind of a storm they just survived. Borkum getting in there could have caused so many problems. Luckily, the other players of Entity who were coming in from the other side of the map did manage to take care of the Bren players in transition and make the retake much harder for them before they even got into the markets. If Entity keep playing like this, then they have a pretty good chance of winning this one. it definitely seems that they are in control given how much map control they had in the previous game. And the way that they're selling their fakes, it seems to be pretty nice. If they can keep this up, then Bren are in for a surprise. But then I can't really say this too soon because after a point, Bren do have a habit of getting used to Entity. And all this 4-0 scoreline, which might even translate to 5-0 now, given that Bren don't have that much money, it all will be for nothing once Bren gets the hang of this.
Exactly. They've been getting a good read on Entity throughout every game they've played, and I doubt that this one would be any different. It just seems that Bren have a very fast, adaptive nature, which I don't think Entity might be ready for. And it certainly shows in the past two face-off that they had. Plays for now. Entity leading the charts. Bren forcing up into this round. They had enough money to pull out all the rifles on the board. It's only going to be Papi who's going to compromise a bit on utility. The early Molotov that will give vision to Vets. Amaterasu, if he goes on the cross, it might be a huge problem here, but he's playing pass. Damage exchange in terms of utility. With Bren being the sufferers. The nade is good, and Borkum is solo in towards site. A smoke is enough to push Derek back, but will that be more than enough to get the frag? Is the question. The flash comes in, Excali gets the first frag. Borkum luckily in with the refrag, and that smoke will be his saving grace for now as he finally bench. Good for the first kill, goes down, and this is stopped the push from Entity. They're stopped to a grinding halt. Bren, they're holding on to the little hope they have, and given the rotation is already in from Pro, it might be a huge issue. Deathmaker spots up Borkum. Initial frag netted, but now Bren, they've already set up for the post plant. Should be an easier round for them if they had utility, but they already have a position in through market, and that should be enough for them.
Entity Gaming can't really challenge them to the fights right now, and they can't even go for the safe plant because Pro can peek in and he can deny them the plant. Somebody needs to cover the bomb planter. Luckily, Pro doesn't have too much HP, so he's a bit hesitant to go in for the fights just now. And he's watching the cross, waiting for anyone to cross into its bench area or get up close to the markets. But he doesn't find anyone, and Entity Gaming, they hold their steed.
And a wise choice here from Bren as well. They saved the AWP. Wits has been chiming in from time to time, but we need to see more of the op. And it's not even to his discredit. Entity have not been feeding into his op. They're very careful as to where they take their fights. Like you saw in top mid, Amaterasu didn't commit anything whatsoever. An initial nade and that's it. He just wiped his hands clean and joined his comrades in for the push in towards B. It's just Bren being out-positioned in the circumstance, with Wits not being able to provide as much as he wants to.
Bren finally take that much needed timeout. Could this be the beginning of the end? Could this mark the start of Bren's comeback?
Well, if the past games serve as history, then yes. This certainly seems that way. Bren, they'll have enough money to again shell out another buy. Pro will certainly be able to drop a gun on the Wets, and they can go for a crap ton of utility. They did try contesting with the previous round, but they didn't contest it as heavily, given that Amaterasu was still alive and able to contribute to the round. This time around, they might just swap things up. Maybe an aggressive post in towards A. Wits, we'll need to see how he works around this. Has been on point again with this AWP. His positioning has been great. It's just that Entity have been negating him. Maybe he'll take the fight on Entity's film, on Entity itself as well.
Surprisingly, Bren Esports aren't going for a mid presence now. They have a player towards B short and Borkum watching connector / palace. But then, not having mid presence does give Entity a lot of freedom. The only question that remains to be answered is whether Entity can convert that mid freedom into the presence on the bomb site.
Wits tries to take the fight on Entity's terms, but did lose it out. And again, can't really blame him. Every time he did try to go for an engagement with the op, Entity completely negated him. And now he tries to brunt force it, and he faces the brunt. Sai, with his own op, rings a bell on a Derek, and now is just dismantling Bren's defense. Entity, they don't look like they are about to lose grasp of the game anytime soon, Crips.
Yep, definitely not. They might just be challenged in terms of firepower, but definitely in terms of tactics, Entity are leading, at least for now, because the amount of pushes they're doing towards either sides of the map and getting control, catching Bren off guard on so many occasions, it seems that Entity definitely know what they're doing and they've done their homework. But we cannot count out Borkum in a 1v2 situation. He hasn't spotted anyone towards the B side yet, knows there's very little time, so he's gonna stick around towards B and hope Entity hit this area. The C4, playing hide and seek with skills, but he will finally be found. And he's gonna highway his way towards the B site. Once again, the question is, does Borkum go for this retake or not? He has the option. 1 versus 2 is not as difficult as the previous situations that his team has been in. And they have clutched out 1v2s before. They did that to finish off the last round of Nuke. Yeah, I guess he's gonna be falling back. It's okay.
Exactly. Can't really blame him. And you've seen this tendency even in the top tier scene all across the world, where even if it's a 1 versus 2, a 2 versus 3, realistically, your odds of winning it are stacked against you. So the counter-terrorists just go for the immediate save. There's no point in wasting your guns. Economy is already harder job to manage on the CT side than on the T. So it is a very rational decision that Bork is making, and it's the right one as well. Entity on the other end, they just won out all their engagements cleanly, and Bren, they have another go at it. They certainly can invest. Borkum can drop an M4, which will be able to invest into one as well. And they are. The purchase is in. They're going for this buy, and they will be a little hampered in terms of utility. That might suggest up close and personal play. And that just might be what Bren need to break Entity. Throughout the entirety of the 7 rounds that they have played for now, it's been them being on the passive stance. But what if they change things around? What if they go aggressive?
Things are gonna look very different if they do so, and it seems like they have just heard whatever you said, and Borkum is already on his way to the top of mid. He has backup in form of Pro and Papichulo as well. Doesn't see any action. The smoke has made sure that the Entity team cannot go out towards mid just yet, but they will leave Deathmaker, who will try to scout out that little gap in the smoke. They've picked off Derek. They need to get the kill onto Borkum as well if they want to get control of the B site. But they won't be doing so. Skills with the SG will triumph supreme once again. And now they are once again in a retake situation. They need to get in before Entity can plant the bomb. Maybe a surprise push through the smoke will allow them what they need. Or if Papichulo can get the kill onto Skills, this might just be turning into a 3v3, which does favor them once again.
It's a save.
It's a save. Again, for the 3rd time in a row, Entity Gaming have secured the B site, and Bren have decided to go for the save. This is turning out to be a pretty good start now. But me being the pessimistic idiot I am, I'm just starting to wonder when will Bren start to actually contest Entity.
Well, I can't really blame you, Crips. And it happens 2 times in a row. It's dumb playing into the picture. Bren, they certainly have something brewing in the mix, and they're just waiting to shit. Not had much success on the passive hold. They tried to go aggressive this time around, but sadly, circumstance proves otherwise. Entity, they managed to capitalize by going aggressive in through the side. And in all honesty, Entity had a good level of outplay as well. They understood that they're taking mid control. That means they're sacrificing resources in towards either side, which means defenders towards either side are going to be a little more scarce in terms of backup. They spot that, they get the initial pick, and they worked off that initial pick, which it's more into
भाई
a
ये अभी
Matrasu
सही जा रही है भाई
situation.
एनटीटी बहुत सही जा रही है भाई मैं बहुत ज्यादा खुश हूँ भाई
His
खाते
intuition
खाते
has been
मैच देख
helping
रहा
him
था
out really well so far, because they have managed to catch Bren off guard on multiple
बस अब
occasions.
चोक नहीं करना चाहिए भाई अपनी टीम को और कुछ नहीं
One little factor to that might be that Bren isn't contesting mid. Maybe that's why Entity have so much freedom and they exploit it quite often. And whenever Bren do manage to take mid control, whenever they do manage to go aggressive, Entity somehow have a way of punishing that. And once they get the first few picks, Bren just start to fall apart. We have noticed this, that all the rounds that Entity have won, it has been because one of them managed to get an early pick.
Well, the engagement taken by Wets. He's trying to use that smoke as an illusion of safety. He's playing aggressive on the back of expecting a repeat to come in. But it doesn't seem like Excali's gonna budge. They're trying to play aggressive again. They get information alright. But Entity, they have control in towards mid. They can split on towards any side of their preference. And it does seem like they would prefer A, considering they already have a forward offense there. slowly inching their way, trying to find success towards any area of the map. And Bren, they're being very methodical in their approach as well, not giving anything away for free. They're heading up towards the B side. Two players in from B short, two players in from B apps. While it's gonna be a Mataratsu on the back lines trying to wreak havoc here.
He's gotten so far. How on earth did nobody spot him yet? Well, this is convenient. This is very convenient. Him getting into jungle, he can result... Okay, that's exactly what I was talking about. They can catch people off guard. They can completely eliminate that area of the map, and Bren Esports will be forced to rotate via CT base and CT base only. Connector, jungle, all will be taken care of. Papi Chulo and Pro, they were still hiding inside the bomb sites. Finally, Pro does strike out, and somehow the man advantage is in favor of Bren this time. They need to hold on to this area. Papi Chulo almost getting the kill onto Amaterasu. He does manage to trade out Borkham, but in a 1v2, with his position known, this situation is going down really south, really fast. Has
Amaterasu
quad kills
on the
already,
ace.
and it's the ace clutch. What a way
Beautiful
for
work coming out from him.
what a way for the captain of the team to
भाई,
step up.
क्या
At the
खेला
at the moment,
इसने?
his team needs him the most.
ओ
Bren,
भाई
at one
साहब
point,
क्या
it seemed
क्लच
that
है भाई.
Amaterasu's movement was so
1v5.
perfect that Bren would be losing at least 2 or 3 players before they finally caught him. But even when they did start shooting at him once again,
भाई, मैं देखा नहीं
Amaterasu
सुबह
was
वाला
able
मैच
to
हो रहा
turn
था.
back and shoot them in the heads. And he survived long enough to cut off all the rotations from jungle. He had to focus only to its connector, and he won those fights with ease. All 5 kills taken by Amaterasu.
Well, credit where credit is due. Bren, they played the defense well. Even though they were put in a very uncomfortable situation, they came out with flying colors. At a moment, they even had the man advantage. And I really love that bait and switch play in from the player at CT
Guys,
and the player
16-0,
from
let's
side.
go.
Sadly, Amaterasu, always being a step ahead like he is able to sense that coming a mile away and essentially securing the round for Entity Gaming in that circumstance. Still maintaining the clean sheet. Bren, still trying to gain ground here in the first half. But hey, 9 rounds in, it's not too late. They can still come back into this game. Entity, they need to go ahead with the same mentality. They cannot give away any room to breathe.
Bren somehow still are holding on to their utility. They have 2 smokes and 2 nades. Meanwhile, Entity have only 2 Molotovs left. No smokes in their arsenal. This could pose a problem if they don't manage to get a pick onto the Bren players now. And somehow Bren have become super passive. I mean, they have been passive throughout the game, but then this time, Entity are not finding any picks, which is something that Entity really need
भाई
to
डर रहे भाई एनटीटी से
thrive
यार, ये
upon.
तो
And
चाहिए.
every time that Entity have found a pick, Bren Esports, they managed to lose the round somehow. This time, Papi Chulo is going into its palace. He might hear somebody coming in through A main, and that could prompt the rotations early. But Deathmaker's here to cut off any rotations, unless, of course, Borkham catches him off guard. He won't be doing so, but this time, Pro is here to welcome him with open arms. Papi is still inside palace. While they're still dealing with the people coming in from stairs, Papi has already secured himself a kill. That flashbang could be perfect. Skills is on the way to get rid of him, but with the deagle, he should be able to deny the plant. There's 4 seconds left, and he just needs to stay alive. Finally, Bren
Nice
win
try,
their
nice
first
try.
round of the game.
कोई नहीं guys, एक
All
round
thanks
तो
to
हारे
Papi
भाई
Chulo and
कोई.
his brilliant positioning. That's what Bren have been doing. They play passive, they try to hunt for information, and when they do go aggressive to hunt for information, Entity managed to get 1 pick. And when they get the pick, Entity managed to win the game also somehow.
Exactly. Calmness, composure, Bren's defense. They have these qualities which allows them to boil the clock down and still frag out of their minds. Mind you, they were on an inferior buy, but that fire in through CT and Palace really won things out. Sai, initial tag taken, Wits down to 17 points of health. The advantage they were looking for, not the man advantage, but at least in terms of HP, Wits can't be as ballsy as he wants. Now he'll be forced on a passive stance. And Entity, they might just capitalize on the back of that.
Most of the Entity players are playing passive towards mid and underpass. The only exception is Excali, who's moved into its palace.
भाई
And he's
एक
playing
राउंड
such an
जीत
angle
लो
that
यार एनटीटी,
even if
फिर
some
ओपोनेंट
CT
इको
decides
है
to push up
वापस.
palace, they probably won't check this place. Meanwhile, they have made contact on the B side. Skills rattling off shots, giving away his position. Not sure if this is a fake or a commitment yet, but the C4 is moving in this direction. Excali also starts to rotate back towards the B side. This could very well be the decision that Entity is finalizing on for now. Somehow, at least till now, Bren have managed to keep most of the players on the A side. They haven't gone in for information. They don't know yet that Entity is heading completely towards the B side. The rotations are far away, and if Entity strike now, when the iron's hot, they might just be able to overcome Borkum and Derek. They only have 2 flashbangs, which means the danger of jumping out of the apartments, that is landing into a Molotov or being cut off by the electro smoke, that isn't present anymore. And here comes the assault. Let's see if the CTs are up for the task. The flashbangs are perfect. Derek does manage to get 2 more, but he needs to get traded out, and he needs to get traded out now. He picks up a triple kill. Finally, his killing spree has come to a halt, but at this point, he's done more than enough damage, and Entity are on the back foot. 2 of their players remain, Sai and Skills.
भाई
They
निकाल
have
लेगा
performed
Sai.
massively before, but if Sai peaks, Witch is
अरे
ready for him,
यार.
waiting around the corner. Skills in a 1v3, a really awkward position to be in, playing around the palace. He hears one player coming in from apartments. He needs to make sure that he wins this solo fight and does not engage with anyone else in the meantime. But he has too many places to look at, too many
Nice
players
try,
to
nice
fight, and Bren win their second round as well. Fun fact, this is one of the only retakes that Bren have actually managed to succeed at.
And mind you, Sai did have a teammate in the form of Skills who had a flashbang on his belt. Perhaps a little bit of communication would have yielded a little better result. But Bren can't take anything away from them. They were really cool, composed, and especially Derek going absolutely berserk with the triple kill on the hold. Entity, now their economy in shambles. Is this the beginning of the end? Do you think this is where Bren are like, guys, it's our time now. Want to frag? Let's frag.
I think someone just wasted a Molotov over here. Yep. A Molotov wasted, unnecessary damage taken. Hopefully Entity are able to capitalize upon it. Definitely they capitalized on the aggressive position that Borkum had, and Witz, he cannot be traded out early enough. They need to fight him right now, and they need to get rid of him, but he manages to take down 2 players before he finally hits the ground. He's done his job, and he's done it well enough. Pro is now looking for anyone else to cross. Sai made the mistake last time where Witz was able to delete him as soon as he peeked. Hopefully they don't make the same mistake again, but they need to be careful as well. Excali, he's watching B shot. Amaterasu also focusing towards markets. Is nobody watching apartments? This is absurd. Papi Chulo, he pops a flashbang. They must have heard him now, and if they did not, then this could be a big problem. The players on Bren, they're waiting patiently inside the markets, waiting for his teammate from apartments to strike, but nice shot by Pro! What the hell was that flick? Amaterasu trapped in a 1v1. HP advantage in favor of Papi, but the time is running out. Amaterasu, he just needs to waste enough time, and he does much more than that. Entity are down to 9 rounds. And guess what? Bren don't have enough money. They are back to square one. Witz and Papichulo can probably purchase a few weapons, but everyone else is gonna have to go for CZs or something like that. Witz picks up the AWP, then this is gonna be a very awkward buy from Bren. A few of them are pistols, AWP and SMGs. Luckily, they do have plenty of utility. They're lacking a bit on nades, but then they have all the right amount of Molotovs and smokes in their arsenal. I guess Bren should be able to sandwich this if they manage to land their shots.
Witz back to his weapon of choice, gets the first kill, the man advantage netted. Bren, you've been doubting their aggressive setup, we've been doubting their passive setup, but now they have the now they got the pick on the entry. But are they going to be ready for the pounce on from ramp? Doesn't seem like it. Excali takes Pappy down early, and that's the A side done and dusted. Bren cannot even contest. Entity perfectly counterplaying the aggression that Bren posed. And now a 4 versus 4 retake with barely any utility to work with. A Molotov already disposed of, and smoke and 2 flashes is all they have. Skills might get caught off repositioning. Very iffy there.
Could have gone down, but somehow it's still a 4 versus 4. And as the smoke starts to dissipate, Bren don't have much utility to work with. They are falling apart. Sai, Skill, Excali, all of them chiming in with 1 kill each. They decimate Bren Eastwards as they try to make their way in from CT base and jungle respectively. Entity once again hold on to the retakes. And so far, Entity have shown us exactly why this was one of their preferred maps. 10 rounds, already breaching double digits. They should be able to secure even more considering how low of an economic ditch that Bren Esports is in.
Exactly. Bren, they went aggressive to get the first pick and then fell back, but this time around with the pistols, it might paint a different story. They might just consider to go all out aggressive. Let's see what they do though. An aggressive smoking through apps and skills doesn't give two hoots about it. I'm gonna go aggressive on the back of it. The Molotov to deny any control whatsoever. Deathmaker almost could have sprayed down to there. The Molotov will cement the frag. Burning alive, needs to escape and finally does. Luckily there's a smoke in through nest. Some kind of avenue to escape. There we go. Returns to safety. Amaterasu is tagged down at 7 HP though. And mind you, if Entity Gaming take the timer a little too low, the previous time Bren did that, they were able to win a round on the back of Crossfire in from CT and Palace. Now they look to kick up the pace a notch as they're already in through the B side. A minute 11 on the clock and already a full to Bren. They will go for exits, and let's hope they get a couple, because Entity Gaming's economy is not all that strong. If Ben need to post comeback, they need to do it right here, right now. Entity already hitting 11 digits, not a comfortable position for Brent to be, but hey, train is always an option, and this map is not always open. We did see a comeback yesterday from MVP situation. Let's see if Bren will step up to the fray when it comes to the calling.
They probably will be able to step up in the next round. They have a 4-pointer loss bonus, maximum that you can achieve. $2,900 in the bank on an average, which means they can't even afford the ops next round with all the utility and all. Either way, Entity should be pretty happy with the 11-round lead they have secured so far. But if they really want to put this in the win basket, they need to win the last 2 rounds as well. They cannot allow Bren even a little bit of comfort. And Bren, we can already feel the discomfort on their team. The double op setup becomes active now, finally. And let's hope that entities find a way to circumvent this. Once again, we have already noted that Bren don't really go for mid control. But the fact that they have 2 ops means that one of them will be posted towards the B apartments. It's going to be really difficult to deal with the op in a position like this. And the other one is going to be towards Palace. Now that both the sniper rifles are watching the avenues for the bomb sites, all the mid control in the world doesn't account for much, as Derek will be able to catch Excali off guard. His position's been compromised, people are looking forward to hunt him down. Amaterasu already peeking in his direction, and even Sai is covering it. So this guy is trapped right here. Derek needs to be rescued out, and it seems like nobody will be coming to rescue him. Papi Chulo gets one more kill on the other side of the map. Entity down 2 players already. Bren with a significant advantage. Pro was able to shoot through that very little gap, and he spotted out the C4 as well. Entity Gaming are getting picked off one by one in different parts of the map, and this seemed like a really uncoordinated round from them.
They get picked apart like flies, and Bren, with a double up setup, able to dismantle them. It's only Sai remaining up on the board. And mind you, Entity's economy, even though they did win so many rounds in a row, it's not all that strong. Derek, that's kind of going down at the op, but Borkum is there to salvage though. 11-3. We approach the last round of the first half, and Entity Gaming. 2 of the players are filthy rich, but on the other end, Deathmaker and Amaterasu have barely enough to invest in armor and utility. Luckily, they were able to toss a few guns around and make this buy work. Every player has an AK or a Krieg. Every player has utility. Every player has everything they desire. Now they desire another round, but will Bren be kind enough to give it to them is the question. The first time they take out the double ops is the first time they won a round in a long time, and this might just be a this might just be a 4th round on the board for them. Poppy aggressing through underpass. That's the spanner in the works.
Yeah,
First time around in this map.
if he goes up too far ahead, he might just be able to spot the C4 as well. And once Bren have the information, we know that they can wrap around and they can make things really chaotic for Entity Gaming. I don't think anybody has spotted them yet. And Papikilo strikes with all the passion he's got. C4 is in control, and it's gonna be almost impossible for Entity Gaming to recover the bomb, much less recover the round. Yep, there you go, getting picked off one by one. Sai left in a 1v5. 11-4 to Entity in the first half. It's pretty good, but I think Entity should be happy with what they've accomplished over here.
Exactly. Bren. There's.
You've been struggling with that. Surprisingly.
I'm not really sure why, but hey, let's see if they're able to post any results on the T side. When Entity Gaming do switch sides, they might go an aggressive. Who knows? Bren might just get the perfect outread on the other side. And Entity Gaming, if they do want to close this one out and push it to a map 3, they cannot afford to give any more room for Brent to breathe. They need to finish this one here and now, and then when they take the decider on train, it will be an extravaganza, because yesterday we did witness the same match and it ended up going in a very one-sided affair. Today, Entity Gaming, they have a chance to rewrite history. Bren, they have a chance to cement history as well. Let's see what happens in this game. At least as of now, it does look like Entity Gaming do have the upper hand. But at this tier of CS, everything is about the mind games. For now, Bren would have mentally reset. They'll be looking at the positives. They're like, hey, guys, we have 4 rounds on the board. We win the pistol, that's already 6. We win 2 gun rounds, we're very close to Entity Gaming. In that circumstance, anything can happen, Crips. If you take it round by round, Bren, they're not that far behind. But yeah, as long as they mentally reset and win out the pistol, things might start shining a little bright on them.
It's not even about the hope or whatever. The fact is, Entity have indeed improved a lot, at least on this day. Yesterday they got decimated 16-7. Today they actually managed to make it to double digits on a map that is not really a map they ever play, and it was picked by the opponent. So if they can somewhat put up a fight on Nuke and go on such a dominating scoreline on Mirage, I think if this game goes to Train, that's going to be one hell of a brawler, and that's going to be completely different from the Train we saw yesterday. Most of the times, this is a proven statistic, 78% of the times that a team goes on a rematch in the same tournament, the team that loses first is the team that wins the second game. And this is a statistic which was given to us by Redeye himself. So maybe if Entity stick true to that statistic, hopefully they should be able to make it past into the next phase. And they start coming in towards the A site. They flood in from the apartment. Deathmaker and Excali do manage to get one, but they're falling back. They're letting Bren take away this bomb site so that they can regroup and retake this place as a team. 2 players coming in from each avenue. 2 from jungle, 2 from CT. They know that Bren Esports would like to contest CT and they would send a few players aggressive, and they're aware about that. They are waiting for them to go aggressive, and they do have a defuse kit onto skills. It all boils down to the trade fragging. Derek and Papichula have great positions here. They should be able to overpower Entity as they try to move in. And they do! Deathmaker with 2 very fast headshots, able to dispatch them both with ease. Amatadasu with a stylish one onto Pro. Entity win the pistol round, and at this point, I can safely say that Entity are looking strong. They probably will be able to win the second round as well. No, wait, actually, I take my words back. Anything can happen at this point. You see?
Yeah, we have seen it yesterday where every time the T's get a plant, the second round force always works in the T's favor. Except for Entity, of course, where in their force it didn't work out, especially against Burn. It'll be kind of ironic if Bren were able to turn the tables here. They have the Kriegs forced out. It is the force coming in. Entity, they have to put that statistic to the test now. Will they stand tall against the Kriegs, or will they fall to the, I'd say, the most hated strat in all of CS history?
I'm surprised they had so much money that they could just buy Kriegs as well as all the utility onto Wits and Papichulo. Pro and Derek must have given those drops away to their teammates. They don't have any armor. Wits and Papichula purchased armor and they received drops from their teammates, which should give them 2 nice white knights, which will be able to wreak havoc onto the Entity Gaming side. The M4s, FAMAS's, UMPs obviously don't stand much of a chance up against the Kriegs, but now that they all come in and focus on Connector, maybe Entity Gaming, since they're all focused in towards one place, can get something done. But they are getting picked off one by one. Deathmaker dodges the flashbang and is able to get the kill onto Pro, but as soon as he peeks out, he will walk straight into the process of Wits, who will be able to take him down. 2 versus 4, Entity Gaming are looking really uncomfortable.
Well, the statistic stands true, at least for this game. Bren, they win out the second round force on the back of pistol loss and the bomb plant. And now, might be that chance to shine again. Entity, they're 4 rounds away from winning this game out. But mind you, Bren, if they win a couple of gun rounds here and there,
भाई
they'll
निकालेगी
be
भाई
really close to an
NTD में
equalizer.
भरोसा
At
है
least
मेरे
for
को
now,
NTD पे यार
Entity Gaming will go on the save. They'll be able to save their M4 and their FAMAS into the next round, which might suggest maybe early aggression with the big guns, maybe a stack towards either side. You never
ज़्यादा
really know,
excited
but
ना हो
what I
जाएगा
do know is, Bren, they have something brewing for the T side of Mirage.
नहीं जीत जाएगी यार NTD. Don't worry
Bren
boys.
coming up with a deadly concussion, a deadly
Guys don't
brew,
forget to like and subscribe
which
यार.
almost rhymes with their name.
भाई मैं
But
CS:GO
given how
वगैरह
much
स्ट्रीम करता हूँ डेली.
weaponry Bren have, I do not think Entity will be
अब
able to
टाइम नहीं
pose much
मिलता
of a
बोल
fight
के
in this
थोड़ा
one.
कम होता है लेकिन
They
करता
barely
हूँ
have
डेली.
anything to work with.
तो सब्सक्राइब
Armor,
करना मत
force
भूलना यार.
buy, The best that Entity can hope to do in this round is cause economic damage and maybe steal a few SGs, which obviously won't be happening as they go for a creative boost, but won't find anything. Bren focus on mid as well, and why the hell not? They have all the weaponry to do so. But Entity Gaming, they are going for an aggressive B-shot push. Excali avoids the nades, and I don't think Bren are aware about the approaching Entity Gaming. This might just work out in their favor, but Borkum and Wits completely shut them down.
अबे यार,
Spraying
अच्छा
down
सा
all three
crossfire बनाते।
offenders of Entity Gaming as they try to move in apartments. Skills needs to hold on to this from us so that he can carry something into the next round, but Derek with fancy footwork avoids all the bullets of Skills.
6 at 12, Bren. Still making it work on the back of such a big deficit. Entity on the other end, they will have to eco to see by another day. For now, a stack might help. Try doing as much damage as you can to Bren. Again, you can't really let their economy grow out of bounds. And that's the catalyst of a good comeback. Their economy is solid. Even if they do face a round loss, even if they do face some strife in a few rounds, they'll always have some money to fall back upon and always have utility up on the board when they need it.
4 players towards B shot. Boy oh boy, if Papichito takes this fight, he is either in for a nasty surprise or he's in for a huge frag movie. Whatever that is, I am excited to find out because there's gonna be a bloodbath. It's a wall of players over here on B shot. Deathmaker being the first point of contact will obviously have his teammates to pounce upon anyone who makes it there. We also have Skills covering them from high ground, and Skills will probably spot these players out first. But this is gonna turn into a complete apartment rush because they probably should be able to get rid of them all. And it is over in just
You got
a
your
second.
frag movie.
Well, not really. I mean, if a shared frags, probably would be a great frag movie if one person just sprayed down all of them. But either way, Entity wasn't supposed to survive that round anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now finally Entity have something to work with. 4 smokes in the arsenal, which should be able to boil down quite a lot of time onto Bren, provided that Bren don't manage to bait out all that utility right at the start. But it seems like Bren also have a plan of their own. They're going in for one of those A executes. Last time it worked out. Actually, not really. They last time did it on the pistol round, which didn't really work. But this time they got the early kill onto Excali, and he was caught off guard. Deathmaker, he's burning alive, and he doesn't have a smoke. Papichulo will spare him the embarrassment of dying from a Molotov by putting bullets into his body. But Entity already find themselves at a man disadvantage. Unless they manage to get the kill onto Pro, who's going over aggressive right now, this retake looks almost impossible. And at this point, I don't really think Bren are also gonna offer up any more free kills. They did lose Pro, and they could have lost more players if Entity Gaming stuck around and decided to fight Papichulo and Borkum. At which point, Entity maybe could have gone in for this retake, but they don't have a defuse kit, and obviously they're not gonna take this risk. They have a few more rounds to work on the back of, but Bren are getting dangerously close.
This is what we were afraid of, Crips. Beginning of the end, perhaps? Bren, they've got into the groove, and now we've seen this before, we're gonna see it now. It's very hard to force off this. Entity, they managed to save the 3 rifles, and now they could potentially force out another buy. They will drop SMGs, and they will have a decent bit of it going alongside it. Bren, their aggression completely catching Entity off guard. And for now, that's gonna be their A game, because that's been working out on a consistent basis. Krieg's out on the board yet again. Wits, his weapon of choice. The EWP is out. This is gonna be a bloodbath in towards mid, perhaps, because now Entity need to contest, or else it's gonna be the side going in for free. Taratsu, the preemptive Molotov, will save his skin as he's down to 6 HP, sprays them more, and the Molotov takes it through the grave as now it's 3 versus 4. But Skills, he needs to hold on to the B side, but he can't. He falls immediately. Bren, they're given an opening here, but Entity, they're eager to contest, and they fall in that conquest. Sai, sole survivor of the onslaught, will need to save the M4. Entity, they came this close, but still are this far from closing this game out as Bren, they're evening out the margins here. 1 round away from hitting double digits, and Entity Gaming are slowly but surely feeling the great game get away from their grasp.
They're not close to getting double digits, but that's okay. I mean, unless you meant it in a futuristic perspective that Entity won't be able to purchase in the next round, and then then it makes sense. But they have max loss bonus. They have $2,000 onto each one of their players, so maybe they can stop Bren right here. But
भाई
if they lose this one,
वापस
then
भाई वैसा
for
वाला
sure
सीन हो
Bren
रहा है
will
भाई
be
इनके
able to
साथ
get up to
भाई
Entity's
इतना अच्छा
scoreline
लीड
and
लेके
tie it all up.
वापस कमबैक का चांस दे रही
So
है
far,
यार
they've won 5 rounds in a row. And all of
नहीं
those
जी भाई,
because
ऐसे
Bren were
नहीं
able
जी।
to get the opening picks. You see how fearless they are by the way they just pushed into those Molotovs. They had the option of stopping there. And it's not like the world would have fallen apart if they stopped there. They could have just stayed on B shot, taken control of ladder room, even taken control of the sniper's nest, after which they could have bisected the map in half, and that would have, you know, let them cut off Entity's
यार, ये
rotation
round
so
चाहिए
well.
भाई, वरना
But they didn't do
comeback हो
that.
जाएगा कसम
They
से।
took the fights. They were brave. And it did, you know, it did result in the round victory. So that really tells you exactly how Bren are feeling about this game. They are feeling super confident. But Sai, he might just turn the tables over here. Gets the kill onto Wits. Deathmaker also, with the other op, can cause a lot of problems as both of them are positioned towards the A site. No presence from mid, so Sai doesn't even need to look elsewhere, although he's still paranoid about someone jumping up and getting a boost into the sniper nest. That won't be the case anytime
भाई ये
soon.
राउंड निकालो
But
यार,
Entity
come on,
at the same time
come on,
are also
Deathmaker.
afraid to push and gather information. They don't know that Bren are about to come into the A side and the rotations are not here. That's okay though, because Deathmaker wants to go ahead, peek out of the smoke and maybe get something done. Exali still holding inside the bomb site, has done more than enough damage, and he takes 2 kills. Brilliant stuff from him. At this point, Entity Gaming can chill out and they can wait for the smokes to dissipate so they can retake as a team. But Amaterasu, he's going to give them something even better. And they will be able to stop Bren once again. But they need to keep doing this again and again and again because Bren are on 5 digits of money. $14,000, $10,000 all across the board. Bren have money for days. Entity just need to win 2 more.
And that really shows a contrasting picture. When Bren do win out their rounds, they win it in a very clean and in a very efficient manner. Where Entity win out their rounds, they're a little sloppy on the hit, where they lose more than 3 players, hence their economy is not getting built. Here, it comes out to work in their favor. Their economy, even though they did lose the round, is pretty strong.
यार, nice.
Can face even another round loss. And that might just work against Entity in this circumstance. Because if Entity lose this round in return, their buy will come in, but they will be lacking in terms of utility.
Deathmaker and skills not having a lot of room to work with. All that utility is covering their vision, which will allow Bren to move very close to the sniper nest. At this point, Entity probably could start going aggressive towards either ends of the bomb sites. But they
Nikalo,
have
boys.
Borgum waiting in case Entity do exactly that. So Bren Esports, they have covered everything. They know that Entity, when they start losing mid control, they do have a
अबे
tendency to
डेथमेकर
push.
का मेरे को लग रहा है 4 सेकंड
But
का
maybe
होगा
the
भाई
timing's
पार्ट
off.
2
Maybe if
डेथमेकर
Xcali
के
pushes in
साथ
right now.
जिस हिसाब
As
से
soon as
उसका
the
एम
smoke
है ना
fades, if he goes in and gathers information, and if he does that soon enough, maybe he will be able to pass on the information to his team that Bren Esports are headed towards the B site. And Sai, he's playing as an early warning system, playing a little aggressive, should be able to spot out anyone.
Bren are not showing skin just yet. When the hit comes, it might be a little too late for the rotation. Sai
अबे
gets the
यार,
tag in
lag
for
हो गया।
Papi, but he de-aggresses in the nick of time. It will allow him and his teammate in the form of skills to set up for the hold. Gets the initial kill, but Pro closing the lines quicker than they expected. Gets the initial kill, and skills is not ready for the aggression as Pro doubles. Luckily, Deathmaker comes in with a refrag though, but a 3 versus 3. Bren, they put the bomb down. They have no utility to work with, but the post plant is looking decent. It's looking doable.
Entity also don't have too much utility. There's only one flashbang which has been used up. Doesn't blind anyone. 2 players coming in from market and they are being stared upon. Derek deletes Amaterasu, but there's still one more. No pressure just yet because Xcali's up there. If he can catch Wits off guard here, maybe the retake can be on
Save
again.
kar
But
lo yaar,
there
save kar lo.
is hardly any time left. We already see Deathmaker backing off. Bren definitely will get to double digits. But Entity Gaming, their economic back isn't broken just yet. Could have been better if Xcali survived with that weapon. It would have made the job for Entity much easier going into the next round. Because they still have money. It's just that the AK would have let them have much more. And given how much money Bren have, they can afford to lose weapons. But Entity can't afford to do that.
Exactly. Bren hitting double digits, closing in the margins, 3 rounds away from finding an equalizer. Entity, they're going for a buy, but they've used every single penny they have in their bank. It's a double op setup to try and make this work here. In the previous round, the double op setup didn't really yield much in the form of Deathmaker plus Psy. This time around, let's see if it rings a different story. Oh my goodness, Psy gets the kill on a Poppy. Initial man advantage secured, but Bren, they can still work off the disadvantage. They can still gain map control, which they have. They've gained control into its mid, and in through B apps, Entity have reaggressed. They're trying to aggress into different areas of the map here. They're getting information, but that just might work against each other here.
Entity knows that Bren have all the mid control in the world. They probably also know that Bren esports aren't present towards any other parts of the map, so they only need to focus on mid here. There's only two places they can go from here. It's Connector and be shot. If they manage to hold it down, this will be possible. Psy making sure that nobody can move into a shot, but he will get the shot onto Wits, and even though Wits was ready for the peak, Psy comes out on top. Two-man advantage, and Deathmaker makes it even better. Entity, they are starting to make this dream happen. Weighing around the smokes. Pro goes for the pop flash. He could have gone for the pop flash just there, and I don't think Skills will be able to dodge that. Either way, Bren need to start hitting the punches now. They need to start winning those individual fights if they want to have a chance back into this game, but Entity are not giving them anything to work out of.
14-10, Entity. They hold on to the map, but like you said, Crips, Bren, they have a lot of money to fall back. They can go in for another buy comfortably with a lot of utility backing them up. Perhaps even another op on a Wits again, but do they want to change things around here? Alright, seems like they want to resort back to Old Faithful. Wits, again, has been delivering with the AWP, but Psy is always looking to be a step ahead. Smokes deployed in through mid.
भाई जब से ना ये क्रीग आया ना, देखो भाई 1 2 3 4 4 क्रीग एक ऑप, कोई एक ही नहीं लेता है भाई. सोचो क्या नर्फ चाहिए भाई इस गन को अब.
They've smoothened the rough edges, and they have control in through mid.
Amaterasu definitely heard those two players walking in towards underpass. That's going to be information relayed to his team. And since he heard two players, it is once again a clear indication that Bren are going to be focusing on mid instead of any other bomb site. A similar setup to the previous round where they have Borkum holding in behind A in case somebody decides to be aggressive. This is the chance where Entity usually have a tendency to go aggressive towards the B apartments to gather information, but they aren't doing that just yet. Last time they did that, they were able to shut down Bren, but at the cost of a lot of their players. And that too on the backs of the double op setup. Excali finally starting to get that little sense of adventure.
अबे यार
and he
नहीं
will
push
pay
करना
for
चाहिए
it
था यार.
with his life. Curiosity kills the cat. And Bren, they pull the rabbit out of the hat to get that first kill. They have the man advantage. We have seen that in this series, any team that gets the early man advantage, especially on the T side, is usually able to win the round. Entity, they need to pull something off. They need to get something if they want to survive, because if they allow Bren to move into the B side like they're about to do right now, they probably won't survive this. Deathmaker needs to get at least 1 or 2 more kills. Meanwhile, Derek's getting challenged. Skills tried to fight him from B shot, but he wasn't able to land that shot. Neither was Deathmaker. He finally flicks
Nice
onto
shot.
Pro. And now it's a 3v3. An even situation. But Papichulo turns it around. Amaterasu down to the ground. Both the ops onto Sai and Deathmaker. They are looking for an opening, and if they get it, they should be able to go for the retake. But for now, nothing seems to be going in their favor as they will back off into a save.
The rational choice being made by Entity here. They want to make sure that they have the double in the next round alongside the rifles coming out from the remaining 3. They'll have a lot of utility backing them up, but Bren, they don't want to let go of this map. They're contesting with all their hearts, bloods,
चलो भाई
and
2
tears.
ऑप तो सेव्ड है हाथ में.
For now, Entity,
स्टोन के लिए काम
they
आएगा.
do give away a round.
Okay, then. I guess that happened again. No problem, though.
Consistency,
For those
Chris.
of you who stuck around to the...
Hope everything is fine at your end.
प्रत्युष भाई सेकंड मैच है ये. गाइस फर्स्ट मैच ब्रेन जीत
certainly
गई और
doesn't
ये
sound
सेकंड
like
मैप है.
that. Let's assume for the
ये
best.
एंटिटी निकाल लेगी भाई, इतना
Entity.
तो भरोसा है.
Opponent in 11. Bren,
लेट्स गो एंटिटी बॉयज.
they're going to keep the momentum on, and they have a lot of mid control that they have been taking previous few rounds, but this time around they might want to change things, and that's it's going to be all eyes towards the A side. The other end gets aggressive and side getting aggressive and through connector was trying to find the opening play, but no, and on the other end get aggressive and through the side. They're not very happy. And inside, beautiful start for Bren, and What do Entity salvage? The double up, it's far removed from Bren, inching closer to the equalizer side. Nobody's set in position to counter that. The flash is perfectly timed from them to decimate the defense CQC, and the ops simply not being able to ring a bell. Entity, they have taken a timeout here. They want to talk things out. They know that something is not working in their defense, and they want to root out that chink in their armor so that they can super flex it to perfection. Bren on the other end, their offense has been looking on point. Papi, the 3 amazing entries in through the site. And again, Entity were expecting a play through its mid because Bren have been falling back upon, but well, Bren flexing on their strat book. They have multiple ways to penetrate Entity, and Entity still finding ways to fix what was the mistake and now what is going to be as well. They do manage to put an op on the hands of Sai. The buy comes in, but if they do lose this one, Bren will come really close to an equalizer.
Well,
Wits.
I guess it's the only thing they need to make it happen. Deathmaker somehow managed to get the kill onto Wits by a Molotov, which is pretty surprising indeed. But they need to keep cracking again and again.
Exactly. Initial man advantage netted. The nade beautifully placed. Derek already down to 63 points of health. Entity, they took an aggressive stance in towards A. They find an absence of terrorists, and this might just bait in the early rotate. Sai has to move over here quick as the hit's imminent, and it's gonna be. Oh my goodness, Derek actually finds a shot on the skills. I assume that's gonna be the jump bait, but the flash again. Pro, perfect with this utility, and now they have the site up for grabs. Entity well removed from the situation as the utility splits the offense and the defense as they swap sides. Entity still do have a little utility of their own. A couple of flashes, a smoke, and a Molotov. They better put it to good use, and they better put it to fast use as well, because they need to start gaining grounds. Derek still on point. Sai missing the shot, and he goes down for it. Excali left in a 1 versus 2. If he landed the frag, that was realistic possible, but Pro on point with the Krieg. 13 to 14. Bren able to work it off a man disadvantage.
Bren are getting dangerously close to this game. They're on the verge of tying the score with Entity Gaming, and then this is gonna be so problematic because Entity, their economy seems to have taken a meltdown at the worst possible time.
Exactly. They have the pistols coming in. A couple of smokes in the play, but again, if Sai's Mighty Op is not able to if Sai's Mighty Op is not able to stop the Bren train, what will mere pistols do? Skills again getting caught off guard, trying to get information, and the man advantage again goes in the favor of Bren as they inch closer to the equalizer. They can sense map 2 going in their favor as well. With roots out aggression in through ramp, Sai is down immediately. This is getting dangerously close. Entity. This is not how they envision this going. Anyone is able to put a stop to this. Every single man from Bren delivering when their team was dry of rounds. It's only a Mataratu remaining, but Bren don't even need to worry about their economy in this stage. They can go for the hunt. They can make sure that they're already at the hunt. They don't want any guns carried forward to the next round. They want to put Entity into as much of a disadvantage as they can.
Amaterasu does manage to steal that one gun away from Bren Esports, but can he manage to hold on to it? No! Pro will even take away that little glimmer of hope that he had. And this is turning into a disaster. Entity Gaming, they finally have enough money. They desperately need all the timeouts they can get. And this is the kind of time that triggers all your anxiety.
Entity Gaming. The game's so close, but this marathon is not over just yet. They can still realistically close this one and force the deciding map. But it doesn't seem like Bren is going to let go of this. They're as eager as Entity to end this early and end this in their favor as well. Sai will be able to go back to his op, but the problem is he's not been finding much success with the weapon. Yes, he does get initial picks, but post that, he's completely shut down by the utility usage of Bren. The smoke's far too perfect. The flash is on point, especially on the entity. Their defense, their front lines is not holding, and their back lines is far removed to make any kind of impact.
Bren, once again, this time they're not going for something that they have always been doing. They are giving up on mid. They have two players heading in that direction, but most of them, and even the C4, is about to make its way towards the A site via A main. Entity have dedicated two players to its connector just to make sure that Bren don't have their way, and they are... Entity want to make it difficult for Bren Esports to crunch onto this A site by at least taking construction care. But then they still have to focus on the main and palace as well, which is going to be really difficult. The utility currently locking off all the Entity players and not allowing them to get any information. They did manage to tag Pro down to 45 HP, but will that be enough? Amaterasu trying to chime in. He should be able to get the kill onto Papi Chulo. Two players have been down already, and Sai also continues to deliver with his op. He does it once again. Entity Gaming have done it. They are on to map point. They need to win the last round anyhow to make sure that this game doesn't go into an overtime. Otherwise, everything that they've worked so hard for is going to come down to nothing.
This time around, it's Bren taking the timeout. A last attempt at this. If they do win this, they're going to go to overtime, and they will be able to close this out at 2-0. But if not, they run the risk of having Train out. And mind you, Entity might have had Train for a reason. They didn't veto it due to the fact that they might have looked through their errors yesterday and made up for that fact. At least for now, in Bren's mind, this should be do or die, because they don't want to take any risks whatsoever. End this here, end this now. You're already having a good streak going on. It's fine. You lose one round from here and there. It's understandable. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But now, they feel like they can't afford Derek. He's going to be having no utility whatsoever. He's probably going to be used on the entry. And the support from Bren, again, this is something that we didn't really shed a lot. But the utility usage from Bren, I think it's Pro who does most of the supporting for his team. He's been on point with his flashes. Every entry that Papi has gotten in through the A side and every hit that Bren has done is on the back of this man's support. And ultimately, coming back all this way, he has to, if not the MVP, a commendable plight taken upon him.
A commendable performance as well. Entity have made such good progress. The Entity that we saw yesterday and the one we are seeing today is so completely different. And even if they don't come out on top, I think they can come back to India with their heads held high. Deathmaker, though, he wants to make sure that he nailed this down to perfection. And Deathmaker Excali making this work. Amaterasu doesn't have to do much, but he needs to get into the rotate quickly. He's paranoid that it might be a fake, but the C4's been spotted over there. And finally, he will start to rotate. Pro and Papi Chulo up in a 2 versus 5. They definitely don't want this going to trade, but Entity desperately do. They cannot afford to offer them 1v1 fights yet, which Excali does, but somehow still comes out on top. A risky move, but it pays off in the end. 1v5, and Entity Gaming can taste victory right now. They can see Train coming from far away. And we are going to map number 3, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be one hell of a rematch. They did manage to defeat Entity yesterday, and Bren should be feeling pretty comfortable as well going into Train, knowing that they have defeated Entity. But what if something completely opposite happens? What if Entity have completely prepared for this, and then they're able to surprise the hell out of Bren Esports? That will be the upset that everyone has been looking for. We are aware that there is no game sound. We had a little bit of an accident here, so don't worry, we will be fixing that before the next game starts. The next map does start in 10 minutes, so stay tuned and we will be back with all the technical issues sorted. Apologies for everything, people.
चलो गाइस, भाई जीत गए यार फाइनली गाइस, भाई खुशी हो रही है यार। भाई आज पहली बार चोक होते होते बच गए भाई, अपनी टीम निकल गई। लास्ट मैप है गाइस, देखते क्या होता है। पर निकाल लेंगे यार, ट्रेन है, अच्छे से खेलेगी तो निकाल लेंगे यार। बस गाइस 10 मिनट में मैच चालू होगा, तब तक तुम भाई चाय कॉफी स्नैक्स कुछ खा के आने तो आ सकते हो। डिले हटा दूंगा, हाँ अबे 20 सेकंड का डिले भाई, वो मैं स्ट्रीम करता हूँ ना तो लोग मतलब स्ट्रीम नहीं करते हैं, तो इसके लिए मेरे को करना पड़ा यार, उसके लिए भाई सॉरी यार। अब बार बार डिले हटाओ लगाओ भाई, फिर समझ रहे हो ना। चलो गैस कोई नहीं, लेट्स प्ले सम डेथ मैच। 10 मिनट बाद आ जाओ यार, 10 मिनट का ब्रेक है यस, या तब तक तुम भाई का डेथ मैच देख सकते हो, डेथ मैच या ऑब्जर्वर खेलते आ जाओ गाइस। 10 मिनट्स का ब्रेक है, लेट्स गो। गाइस 10 मिनट चिल मारते आ जाओ। विंगमैन खेले क्या एक, विंगमैन खेलते हैं, आ जाओ। अभी सोलो खेलना पड़ जाएगा भाई विंगमैन, और 5 मिनट तो गेम मिलने में लग जाएगा। गाइस अपने ये खेलते हैं ना, 10 मिनट का बात है गाइस, लेट्स गो। इजी बॉय, लेट्स गो लेट्स गो। विंगमैन खेल सकते हैं भाई, बट 5-10 मिनट लग जाएगा यार मैच मिलने में। प्रत्युष भाई एनटीटी जीत गई यार, 1-1 हुआ अभी। लास्ट गाइस लास्ट मैप ट्रेन है डिसाइडर, ट्रेन है डिसाइडर। उसको मार दो, कहाँ है, कहाँ पे? लेट्स गो भाई। मेरे को लगता है गाइस, क्या बोलते हो भाई, कल ब्रेन वर्सेस एनटीटी का ट्रेन मैच हुआ था, लेकिन ब्रेन भाई बहुत अच्छा खेल यार। बेन का ट्रेन भाई बहुत सही यार। अबे यार लेग हुआ था ये। Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe यार, I'll be streaming every day from now onwards, but time नहीं मिल पाता। अबे नाइफ का जोक भाई, लॉल। सो भाई CSGO वगैरह स्ट्रीम करता हो यार, तो स्ट्रॉन्ग फेस इट ये सब आ जाया करो, चिल मारेंगे साथ में, नो इश्यूज। फेस इट लेवल 10 और सो स्ट्रॉन्ग में ब्रोंज बैजर, इजी। अभी भाई मैं टाइम पास कर रहा हूँ यार, बस मैं मैच का वेट कर रहा हूँ भाई, जितना जल्दी चालू हो सके। एनटीटी को भाई जीतते हुए देखना है यार, भगवान कसम भाई, एनटीटी को जीतना है। स्पाइक मैंने तेरा रिक्वेस्ट स्टीम पे एक्सेप्ट किया यार, रिक्वेस्ट तेरा अभी जस्ट। कर लिया स्पाइक एक्सेप्ट। लॉल, अबे मैप सही यार। मारना भाई क्यों टाइम भाई फर्स्ट मैप न्यूक था यार भाई स्पाइक अभी विंगमैन नहीं खेलेंगे यार अभी भाई 5 मिनट में गेम चालू हो जाएगा विंगमैन में 15-20 मिनट लग जाएगा अबे नहीं यार भाई मेरा न्यू आईडी आया बाजी रिक्वेस्ट भेज देना एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ मेरा स्टीम आईडी डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा भाई जिसको मेरे साथ खेलना है ऐड कर लो भाई आई इनवाइट अभी तो नहीं खेल रहे बट व्हेनेवर आई प्ले आई इनवाइट यू गाइस
For those of you who are gaming will be in the next 10 minutes, the last map will start. It is going to be the rematch. Yes, was defeated Entity.
Oh, let's go.
It's going to be the same thing again. Entity Gaming must have.
Oh, ठीक है गाइस अभी टाइम है 5 मिनट और बोल रहे कमेंट्री में चिल मारो तब तक
Let's go.
ओपिंग एंजॉय करो भाई तब तक लॉल भाई मैं वेट कर रहा था तब आए रेड गियर का माउस भाई एफर्टलेस ब्रो आई प्रेफर लॉजिटेक लॉजिटेक का G402 या G102 भाई या G502 भाई नो उसको क्या लग रहा है आज guys always I prefer Logitech in mouse वाला और guys in mousepad you should buy Red Gear का it's okay mousepad में Red Gear का ब्रांड सही है माउस का मेरे को पता नहीं ब्रो never used it एंटिटी जीत गया ये शौर्य गाइस 1-1 हुआ अभी लास्ट मैप अभी लाइव होने वाला है 5 मिनट में गाइस लास्ट मैप लाइव होगा ट्रेन है गाइस भाई ट्रेन यार इनका ब्रेन वालों का ट्रेन भाई बहुत ज़्यादा सही है बहुत ज़्यादा सही इस हिसाब से भाई ट्रेन खेलते हैं ना ब्रेन वाले अलग लेवल 2K के बजट भाई एफर्टलेस G402 ले ले भाई सही है G402 नहीं तो G102 बेस्ट भाई मेरे को 4 साल हो गए भाई मैं G402 चला रहा हूँ एकदम गॉड लाइक चल रही है अभी तक ट्रस्ट सही है गाइस वैसे आई बी स्ट्रीमिंग यार अभी सोच रहा हूँ कि पग्स और फेसिट के पग्स अभी खेलेंगे लेकिन लास्ट मैच देखने के बाद आई गो टू जिम देन आके करते हैं स्ट्रीम वहाँ जाना भाई अगर खेल रहा हूँ You guys can join me. हंटर ट्रेन मैप होगा भाई अभी हाँ पाजी मेरे कमेंट प्रोफाइल पे कमेंट कर दो आई लाइड यू अभी और 3-4 मिनट बचा है अबे यार ये शिट मैप है भाई ये लॉल थोड़ा डेथ मैच खेलते गाइस तुम्हें थोड़ा ओपिंग दिखाते ओपिंग Let's do some mopping. और भाई जो जो देख रहे हैं लाइक तो मारो यार कम ऑन लाइक मारो सब्सक्राइब करो पैसे नहीं लगते यार लाइक मारने के रीटेक खेल ओ फक भाई क्या ज्यादा सब अबे भाई क्या साउंड कर रहा है
One on. Throwing fire.
भाई मैं डेड हूँ गाइस 3D खेल रहे हैं हम यार वैसे मैं फेस कैम के साथ स्ट्रीम करता हूँ बट अभी मैं बस मैच स्ट्रीम करने के लिए स्ट्रीम किया था तो फेस कैम ऑफ किया हुआ है डोंट माइंड प्लीज
Throwing a grenade. Throwing smoke. Grenade out.
ये तो आने ही नहीं दे रहे यार ये घुस के मार रहे भाई भाई मस्त गाना है ये
Come on, jump, jump.
भाई मेरे को 100 FPS आ रहा है भाई
All right.
Headshot. Double kill.
Incendiary.
कहाँ है
Triple kill.
डिफ्यूज कर दे भाई डिफ्यूज ही नहीं कर अबे भाई लॉल लॉल भाई डिफ्यूज नहीं करने बैठा
Throwing fire. Fire.
Dominating. Combo whore.
AF क्या होगा भाई क्या सही गाना बजा रही है
Be safe, my friends. Flashbang.
ओ
Let's go, my friends. I am throwing a grenade. I am throwing smoke. Throwing a flashbang.
गाइस अभी तक चालू नहीं हुआ मैप भाई क्या हार्ड सॉन्ग अबे अच्छा भाई सही गाना है यार आई लाइक इट एज वेल भाई अभी तक ट्रेन में ये लोग घुसे नहीं भाई टाइम लगेगा मेरे को लग रहा है
There's no
फाइनल मैप है ना गाइस दे आर प्रिपेयरिंग
throwing smoke. Deploying flashbang.
भाई यार ये मेरे को ही फ्लैश कर देता है चिकन लेट्स गो
No, sir. Now that's a no. Throwing flashbang. Throwing fire. Laying down smoke.
कंस्ट्रक्शन
Diffusing.
अबे ऊपर अबे यार भाई वो सैड स्मोक था भाई साइड ऑफ एक पिट निकला अबे 100 FPS आ रहा है भाई FPS ड्रॉप हो रहा है DM में कब स्ट्रीम करता है दिन में सही वड़ा पाव खाने गया अरे विघ्नेश भाई मैं स्ट्रीम नहीं करता यार अब इतना रात में करता हूँ भाई 1-1.5 घंटा मतलब हफ्ते में 1-2-3 बार ज़्यादा से टाइम ही नहीं मिलता यार भाई क्या गाना है भाई ये अलग लेवल गाइस देखता हूँ मैं भाई अभी रुको कितने देर में मैच चालू होगा लेट मी सी अबे भाई ये सर्वर में देखो भाई 100 FPS आ रहा है यार लैग हो रहा है ओके गाइस वार्म अप चालू हो गया अभी अपडेट है मैच चालू होने वाला है थोड़ी देर में 2 मिनट पकड़ के चलो गाइस 2 मिनट्स मैच इज अबाउट टू स्टार्ट आ जाओ सब यार बहुत स्नैक्स वैक्स खा लिया आ जाओ flashing
Calling flashbang.
Headshot.
I'm defusing the bomb.
Double kill.
Defusing the bomb.
Triple kill.
अबे यार
Let's go, my brother. Smoke. Throwing smoke.
अबे निकल गया भाई नाइफ ही नहीं करना आता भाई लॉर्ड सैड गाइस ये लास्ट राउंड है फिर मैं स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ वो वाला मैच
Grenade out.
Headshot.
Defusing.
Double kill.
चलो गाइस आई एम डन भाई ये लास्ट मैच स्ट्रीम करके आई विल बी गोइंग टू जिम दैट्स इट चलो गाइस सपोर्ट एंटिटी प्लीज ये जीतना है यार हमें
And here we go. The most awaited moment of the day. The rematch of the tournament. Entity Gaming versus Bren Esports once again on train. Now, these guys have had history. Bren decimated Entity Gaming yesterday on this very map. Can Entity do enough? Have they done enough homework to stop Bren in this track? This could be a disaster if Bren managed to get all three of their players out of the shot ladder. Pro also has managed to make his way in towards Olaf, but so far Deathmaker and Sai, they're doing a pretty good job of holding these players down. They've lost most of their players, and Bren are almost left with no players left. Amaterasu will be able to make sure that he gets the last one. Entity pick up the first round with ease. Although, let's not get too comfortable. We have spotted all the time that Entity always go off to a flying start and Bren Esports always get back in later. Last time Entity, they went on to a 4-0 lead starting on the CT side. And then Bren were able to make the most amazing comeback and stop Entity Gaming right then and there. Let's see how long can Entity survive on this great streak of round wins before Bren finally step up to the task. With just a bunch of clocks, they probably aren't expected to do much now. Excali though, he's gonna earn himself quite a big bounty. $600 times 5, as many kills as he can get. He's gonna nail all of that. But if Bren somehow managed to kill him, the nearest player is really far away. Side, it's gonna take a little bit of time before he comes to rotate. If they managed to get the wall front done before that, then Bren would have gotten what they came for. But Excali picks himself up a nice triple kill. One of them even dies to the fire just for style points. Well, that is it. Sai coming in for the last few kills. Should be able to get everything given away to Gaming, and that's the end of the round. Well, so far Entity are looking good. No problems yet. Although the problems don't usually emerge now. They emerge much, much later. Nice flashbang from Wits. Derek is able to get a free kill onto Sai with absolutely no difficulty at all. Sai was trying to go aggressive towards E-Box, but he gets caught in the process. And Skills, his head gets taken off thanks to Pro. The flash is perfect yet again. And Entity Gaming have been struggling because of these. The smoke is thrown so that they can secure a safe passage towards 1.6, and Deathmaker, he has no action. He's locked out. Bren Esports sent most of their players towards Ivy, but now they have taken a step back. They are now moving towards the A main area. Once smoke deployed, they still have their options open. Borkham manages to execute Excali as well, down to Deathmaker and Amaterasu. Amaterasu goes aggressive, hoping that he can get some information or maybe catch someone off guard, but Wits, as soon as that smoke fades, he's going to put Amaterasu in a great amount of danger. Luckily, Deathmaker will be able to save his teammate from certain demise, but they've already taken control of the B site. Borkham already so aggressive, he should be able to cut off all the approaches from Connector. It's most probably going to be a save, but will Entity manage to survive with all their weapons alive? Amaterasu is about to run into Papichulo, and he definitely must have heard him at this point. He made a little jump sound, and now he knows exactly where one of the players is. Both of them are on the same corridor of Ivy and the Brown Halls, but still, Bren, do they go for this hunt? Do they want to take the risk of losing their weapons, or do they just want to let Entity walk away with all this? Let me tell you what's at stake over here. Elimination. The team that loses this map will be getting eliminated from Zavi Extremes Land, and the one that does win will make it forward and will make it through to the qualifiers. Now, if you ask me, that's a lot, and no team can afford to make any mistakes at this point.
Exactly. Bren, again back with the same old, but Well, they come on with a round early, unlike the previous few games. This time around, Entity luckily do have an economy to fall back upon. They have the ops saved, and it's on to Sai yet again. Mind you, the previous time when he did wield the big green in this very map, he was able to dominate Bren. Let's see if he's able to return fire yet again. Entity, they're going to be like real up close and personal about this. And Bren, they're fallen passive. They know that the initial utility will bait out a reaction from Entity, and they wanted to see what it is. It doesn't seem like Entity have overcommitted whatsoever. Bren, still yet to punish.
They have focused a lot of players towards IV. Entity can hold on to this ace side really well, considering they have such forward positions on Deathmaker. He's cleared out Olaf as well, so he knows there's no leakages. Ivy is secured by skills and this one Sai as well. So both its players should be able to get the hold onto this area well. But Bren, they're exploring other avenues. They're going up towards the B side of the map. Excali probably might have revealed his location. Derek definitely hears that smoke go down. But does he know how many players are there on the B side? If he can sell a fake over here, then maybe Entity will rotate, and that's when Bren will strike. But he hasn't made a single sound so far. They're going for a rather standout default, hoping that Entity Gaming push into one of their traps. Players available on every part of the map, and Deathmaker should be able to spot out Wits anytime soon. And he does, but Wits get the jump on him. He's getting plummeted by bullets from Amaterasu and Skills as well, but Skills is getting challenged by someone else. Sai does manage to take down Pro, and Amaterasu wins out his duel as well. Ooh! The smoke. Sai will get one more. The only person who is gonna be challenging them now is Papi Chulo and Derek. Both of them are able to get the bomb plant. Derek definitely hears Amaterasu. He knows he's going to be coming around the corner and coming down the stairs. He will be able to spot him out first, but Amaterasu with a nice headshot puts Papi Chulo in an awkward 1v3. And he's fighting too many players at once. They haven't spotted down yet, but Sai, he ducks down. He's staying alive, making sure that Amaterasu has a clear entry into the site, but he's managed to tag him down. 16 HP. Sai can finish him off with a pistol, but he is going for the fake. Does he go for the fight just now? Papi Chulo, all he needs to do is waste some time, and Sai doesn't have a defuse kit. He wins the fights, but he cannot win the round. They've done it. He clutched out that 1v3.
Well played there from Papi. Individualizing these engagements, Sai missing a really crucial shot there, giving him a chance, and given an inch, he'll take a mile. And he took a round as well. Entity, they allowed the equalizer to come into the picture, and now it's only Sai with the weapon. The rest of Entity will be on mere pistol, and it'll be up to him to do as much damage as he can, because the pistols, they might merely just serve as distraction.
It's just one massive whole game of distraction, isn't it?
Considering that both the teams have been capitalizing upon backstabs all across all three maps, it would be considered a game of backstabs. But Entity for now, let's see how they position themselves. All 5 players into a yard. And it's going to be Sai trying to get some control in through Ivy. Mind you, they're watching out for this exact play. Wits is primed into this position with the Krieg. Up on top of this engagement. Sai, will he overcommit here? Oh no! No, the AWP. Favored at that range, but the Krieg just rips him apart a new one, and now this AWP on Deathmaker. Tough position to get anything out of. Scally, close time with the USP. Good for a frag while Deathmaker strikes in one from the backlines, but that's all they could have hoped for realistically in this round. Now, what they should try and do is save the AWP. But that's going to be an even more daunting task, because Bren, they're positioned accordingly. Deathmaker, every exit avenue is looked after, and, well, elimination, satisfaction. Both Wits delivery done.
He misses the first free shot. That's gonna be pretty awkward. And as he tries to confirm that kill onto Borkham, Papi Chulo will spray him from the back. Bren are once again doing the same thing. They've taken the lead on the T side once again. Seems to be a rinse and repeat of yesterday. But Entity Gaming finally have the op out on the side. Maybe now they can start putting up a fight. Gotta keep in mind though, he is a glass cannon. One random stray nade thrown in his direction can completely dismember him. Not to mention the aim punch. He did struggle in the last round with the op. Luckily, Skills was able to salvage it. No, actually, no, he didn't. He didn't salvage it, but either way, the glass cannon, it's a very risky thing to do, and Entity Gaming, at this point, they do have to take these risks if they want to get back into this game. They can't afford to sit on their feet and hope that Bren will somehow give them an advantage, somehow make a mistake. Derek trying to move in towards the B side. Meanwhile, once again, Bren are spreading out. One towards Ivy, one towards B. They're looking for default kills. They're hoping that Entity will get desperate and make some mistakes by pushing in. So far, nothing's been working out in their favor, but Sai does manage to nail the first kill. 4 versus 5. The ball is in Bren's court now, and they can start to move in. They have the knowledge that the op is present towards the A side. Do they continue going here, or do they change their approach? The smoke will be dissipating anytime soon, and Borkum will push out of it. And when he does, he should be finding Skills, who's playing from top of the train. Now, he does have an advantage over here. And even Amaterasu's got a main covered. I guess Deathmaker will pick up the kill much before him, and the man advantage continues to be in the favor of Bren Esports. Borkum walks out slowly and carefully puts one in the bullseye to get his kills, but the other 2 players will manage to trade him back. Excali has to defend the B side. He cannot afford to let Brent plant the bomb. That extra $800 could cause them a lot of problems, and before Excali can strike, Sai will execute Pro from far away.
3-3, Bren. They let the gas off the pedal for now, and they are coming in with the investment. The Kriegs are out on the board. Derek and Pro sadly will not be able to invest. They will go for a couple of pistols and maybe utility on a Derek. Well, does pick up a flash and a Molotov. Entity on the other end. They're off to a good start yet again. They need to work off this early advantage. Let's see if Bren is able to counter this with the Kriegs. Mind you, Sai has been having a hard time countering Kriegs of Bren, and that's exactly what they're trying to use against him. This time in towards Pop Dog. They try to exit in, but Deathmaker cannot net himself a frag. The UMP close range will decimate Amaterasu, but Sai is still going ham on the AWP. Oh my goodness, the no-scope! Borkum! He's removed out of the picture. Now, with all alone, 1 versus 2. Sai stepping up massively for his team, but with...
Oh, that was the kind of round that induces all the anxiety in you. I thought he would have been able to clutch this out once again, but then Sai was ready for him. And he walks away with a lot of kills in that round. He had 7 at the start. +4, which means he's the first person to cross double digits in terms of kills. And with only 2 deaths, that's a very impressive KDR. A quad kill for Sai to net Entity the 4th round. But they need to win much more. Bren with 3 rounds should be feeling pretty comfortable, at least for now. And they would not hesitate springing in the standard B executes when they're down on money. Pop Flash ready for them, and Pro peeks on the back of that, but Deathmaker will be able to get the first kill towards Shot Ladder. I guess no more players will be going down this arena. They're going for a similar setup as last time instead of rushing in towards one place. So I guess Bren, all they're trying to do is maybe gather information. Maybe if they can bamboozle Entity enough so that they can rush in towards one of the sites and plant the bomb, they should be very happy with that.
But now Entity are going to be in a completely passive stance. They know that they don't have to give any room. Let Bren work for every inch that they want to. It's going to be mere pistols, but I think this close quarters, an Entity are not interested to contest this that way. Look at Excali, his very positioning yells it out. It's like, bruh, come and get me.
Yeah, he's playing a rather forward angle. He can hide if he so desires, but he has backup in the form of Sai as well, who's covering the high ground. I guess Sai's turn to shine has come once again, as most of the players will be coming in from the highway, and he's ready with the op. He gets blinded, still manages to land the kill. Excali chimes in with a few of his own as well, but Borkum's about to get the plant. That's it. Bren have got what they want. No matter what happens at this point, they have the extra $800, and they should be very happy with whatever they've achieved so far. This will give them more than enough momentum to cause a lot of problems for Entity in the next round. On an average, there's $2,000 present on every playoff of Bren, and now with the extra $800 and the 3-pointer loss bonus, they should have more than enough money to get an op.
And they do. With Back at it with this AWP. Well, let's see if we will get an eye to eye, as Wits might be interested to contest in A side. Thus far, Entity's defense has been they've been playing forward, which I think Bren has slowly realized. Previously on Mirage, their utility usage was far too good for Entity to counter. Although they did win it out, but they won it out barely. And this time around, if Bren get an inkling as to Entity's aggression, the flashes, that's what scared me the most. Because previous time, when Amaterasu was playing in towards B, there was barely anything he could do. As soon as the hit came in, even though he was the second man to show face, flashes hit him and there was nothing he could do when the hit was at the B side.
Looks like the hit on the B side, it's about to collapse onto them once again. Excali gets flashed, but the Molotov should cause a lot of problems for Ben, not allowing them to cross. They cross it regardless, not caring much about their health. And this is Excali's chance to push in. He catches Pro off guard, did not expect him to still be sticking around that corner. The nade could do quite a lot, and his teammates have moved in as well. They have high ground, which could result in a lot of kills going in the favor of Entity. And they've taken care of the players towards Oil Train, which makes things much easier for them. But then Derek, he has a Molotov, he has a smoke as well. He can use that to boil some more time away from Entity Gaming. They need to shut him down, and they need to do it right now. Derek almost dies. How the hell is he alive at 6 HP? And this is the time they need to move in. They don't care about the round, but they will run away with the op. They managed to get the plant as well, which means the 2 saved rifles and the extra money from the plant will allow them to purchase once again. 3900, not a lot of utility can be afforded, but definitely AKs can be on the block. Or better yet, they can go for a force buy and cause problems for Entity, try to cause economic damage as much as they can. Bren Esports have been consistently getting those bomb plants at the B bomb site, and that's a problem for Entity Gaming, because if they cannot hold on and if they cannot defend these bomb plants, someday or the other, it will come and bite them in the back.
Entity, they held on to one smoke, which ended up saving their skin. Skilled. Perfect utility usage. Bren, on the other hand, they got the initial entry, but the fight's taken later on. Entity, they were able to group up in terms of numbers and take them in a manner where Bren really couldn't do all that much. We did see Derek aggressing in through oil, and that is the match they could get. When you do play passive on the B side, if the CTs do have counter utility, it becomes really hard for them, for the terrorists to perform a whole. Wits, perfect setup, perfect kill. Side down immediately, and Borkum, he's looking to extend this one. Skills, showing a bit of skin on the back of that smoke, but almost taken down for it. Down to 44 points of health, but the nade! Who is this guy? Why is he playing in Zowie? He should be in just Kobe's skill. How to respond to it. Luckily, Amaterasu has some kind of response, takes Papi down, and he's done even more. Pushing in through T to connector, he wants to go balls out aggressive, and Wits, he has an inkling. Derek watching the backlines, Amaterasu stuck between the rock and a hard place, and they both close in on each other. Excali, a little late on the support, does manage to down Derek though, thinning out the numbers, but it's still a 1 versus 2 working against him. What does Wits do now? He has Borkum in through 1.6. They have an avenue in towards both B and A. They know that Excali has honed in towards the SL position. Regardless where they go, there's a possibility that Excali is there. So they have to take a gamble, but they're taking the safer route here. Excali cannot take the bomb off rotation. Considering that Borkum is providing cover, now it becomes all the harder for Excali. They're going to head on towards the A bomb side. 38 seconds left. They have a lot of time. Exactly. They're going B. The rational choice to make.
Not sure if Excali is aware about this, but with such less time left, if he hasn't seen anything towards the A side, it probably should be obvious enough by now. And he now starts to move. He does have a diffuse kit, has all the utility as well, so he can probably try and Molotov some places off and try and isolate these fights. But I guess he's gonna go for the save. A wiser choice to make. Entity Gaming will be conceding the 4th round to Bren Esports, but they will trade it in for the op. And most of the Entity players have more than enough money, which means even if they concede this round, they should be able to go for a comfortable purchase in the next one. But like I said, it's a repeat of yesterday where Bren, they slowly but surely do manage to snatch away a few rounds from Entity Gaming, and if they hit 5 rounds on the T side, they should be pretty comfortable going into the second half. Excali desperately needs to hold on to the second. He cannot afford to die here, and I guess he will be able to get the kill onto Borkum, survive with the big green sniper rifle.
Derek only lacks a Molotov. Entity. They've been playing a little aggressive in through yard, and Bren, are they interested to contest? Initial utility does suggest so. Molotov in through its stoppers. Flash. Not allow Entity to take post out as aggressive as they do Desire, but Deathmaker, as aggressive as ever, has gone close in through SL. And mind you, there are only two that are iconic for Entity in this map: T Connector and Small Ladder. If you're playing against Deathmaker, these are the most likely positions that he's going to be aggressive at. And this is, I guess, the past 3 months which Deathmaker has been having this tendency. Bren, have they read into that fact is the question. Now, Deathmaker has even real estate. He's side SL and the early rotation, but they are making up for the fact by getting T Connector control and Brown Halls at the same time.
The point of concern for Bren Esports is they have only 2 smokes. It's going to be interesting to see how they use it in order to cut off the crossfires of Entity Gaming. They cannot afford to attack them purely on the basis of aim fights. If they do manage to get a pick, then it's a different story. But for that to happen, they need to win the first fights and then somehow cut off the crossfires by using smokes. Obviously, that's not going to be possible, at least for now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Bren need to make a move. The C4 is still towards T base. It seems like they're running out of time, and Entity Gaming just needs to hold on for a few more seconds. Skill spots out for him, and he won't be able to get the kill, but he has delayed them wrong enough. Entity Gaming need to make the rotation. BO3 can stop them right here, and they can allow him to plant the bomb. They need to move in, and they need to move in now. Sai's got to be extra careful, and BO3 will execute him. Even the Maturasu goes down. This round was supposed to go in the favor of Entity Gaming, but Bren Esports, at the very last few seconds, they catch Entity as they try to get aggressive, as they try to get information. And once again, Bren Esports capitalize on the same mistakes that Entity made last time.
And after that initial kill from Amaterasu, Bren knew that they were aggressive connector and it gave a small opening for him to make a small play in through Ivy. And well, that small play yielded big rewards. Welcome. Spots the leg, takes the body, 6-5. Bren 1 round away from the equalizer, and now Entity have to be feeling it. Their economy is at an all-time low. It's like the recession just hit them. They will be able to go for the buy the next round. Until then, they will need to try doing as much damage as they can. And mind you, Bren's economy hasn't grown that great as well. So keeping their economy humble right now is, let's see if they're able to achieve it.
Bren should be able to get in the equalizer. And Entity have gone for a full A stack. This is something they usually do like to do quite often whenever they're having their backs against the walls. But getting this close to team mid, that's gonna be a problem. Papichulo's already ready for this, and Deathmaker doesn't want to go any further. He knows there might be players right around the corner. He might even have heard Wits scoping in. So that's where he's gonna stop, and they're gonna de-aggress. This is an interesting move from Entity Gaming. Brent probably assumed that Entity Gaming have all moved in, stacked the A side because they heard Deathmaker go all the way into its team mid. But now they've fallen back, and this is the bamboozle. If Brent decide to go towards the B side, they're in for a trap because Entity Gaming have sold the fake that they have the A side stacked. But Bren, they're not moving an inch, they're not moving a muscle. They still want to be super careful, confirm everything before they finally start to move in. They're coming to the backstabs as well. This could be amazing. Looks like they have a sixth sense. They know that they were about to move in from SL as well, and the Molotov will stop them from doing so just now. The next Galley, he will be able to drop the bomb. Impressive stuff, but he's trapped over here. Papichulo will come in and relieve him of his duties, and he turns around to get the kill on skills as well. Deathmaker and Sai, they have aggressive positioning, and Brent should not be seeing this coming. But given the fact that they threw in that Molotov before, it probably is a clear indication that, and they are aware about where they are. Even if they're not, it is being watched by Papichulo, and then that makes things even more difficult. No armor, no Peter 50. They probably should go for just exit kills at this point.
Exactly. At this point, Bren, their economy will start to grow, and if they don't lose any members, give them a sweet reward. Entity, Looking to contest. Nice nade by Derek. Bounced the wrong way, sadly. Castus Curse just hits you when you least expect it. 4-inch fight. Not really one that favors the P250. And nonetheless, Sai more than happy to save the secondary. Scally will be able to drop an op, and they might even go for it. Deathmaker has money as well. There we go. The double up setup comes into the picture. Deathmaker and Sai. Given that Bren have been aggressive towards the lead, do you think a double up setup is really the best counter to this?
I mean, I don't see any other solution. Double off setup has to work, because if it doesn't, Entry are gonna probably run out of options. This late in the half with only 3 rounds remaining, they need to throw in everything they've got. Both the ops are focused towards the A side. Deathmaker with it towards Ivy. Narrowly misses one of the players jumping in and crossing that Ivy. Otherwise, he could have gotten a shot onto that. Sai, he's trying to spam shot ladder, hoping that somebody walks straight into his crosshairs, but Deathmaker with that very close angle is gonna have a little bit of discomfort playing around this area. They push through the smokes, and he probably won't expect this. The flashbang is here, he dodges it to perfection, but Sai, he tries to help him out, and he turns around. Deathmaker is managing to get the kill on Papichulo, but the Molotov is burning him alive. There's not a lot of room for him to move around, and he nicely lands the shot onto Derek. 2 versus 3. Deathmaker still has some more potential, but Pro's already up there, and that's something he did not expect. Excali trapped in an awkward 1 versus 3. He really can't afford to go for this. Deathmaker did all he could, but with his teammates falling around him left, right, and center, there was really no place left for him to go. He was trapped into the green train. Tried to do something around the sandwich as well, and he did manage to land a few kills, but in the end, that's all that she wrote for him.
Oh no, the bomb! Scary spots it, has a Molotov as well. Has
Molotov
and now
and armor as well, but there's too many players coming in at once. Unfortunately, he could have held on to that, but then nothing that he could have done when they double peeked him. And he was pretty low on HP as well, so I guess he never had much hope of winning that situation.
perhaps the silver lining here is Bren did have to give away the AWP wits. In the pursuit of getting the bomb, he did trade it out for a Krieg, and sadly, they would not even have reinvested into it. But mind you, 3 of the players are already filthy rich, so even if they do win this round and with yet another buy.
Pro tapping away, and he should be able to get another one as well. Sai also can't hold on. The P250 becomes a P shooter at that range when you're up against the SGs. You're right, these SGs are just a bit too powerful. Not just against the eco weapons, but they're super powerful in general. I mean, since we have some time, I'm gonna say it. I have noticed this a lot in the last few months. Much more in the last few weeks instead. We see a meta where a lot of 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3 fights are happening with 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. With the SGs being so strong, we are seeing the meta evolve into Terrace being more open and being more confident into taking those fights. On 2-3 different parts of the map, we are seeing fights happening different areas. At least, I mean, I'm not sure if the same applies for Asian and Indian CS as well, but at least in terms of international CS, we are seeing the meta evolve into a place where there's a lot of time left on the clock, like 1 minute 30 seconds or something, and there's 2 players alive, 3 players alive, 2v3 situations across. I don't think it would have been possible for the team to be this dominant on the T side. Either way, Krieg's on Gali's the lone man here. Sai is coming in to help him out, but given how much utility Bren have, they should be able to lock him out of the action. Something that they've been succeeding at doing so far. Amaterasu has a very risky position, but Deathmaker, he delivers the kills. He gets one onto Pro. That should be the indication for Amaterasu to go in. There's no defenders left. Wits, he's still holding back. He's waiting for one of the entity players to push in, and I guess Amaterasu will end up giving him what he wants. If he looks in the right direction at the right time, this will be perfect, but there's the C4 once again. Last time, Excali couldn't get much done because he was alone and he got double peaked. This time, the entirety of Team Entity is alive and they need to get over here as soon as possible, because if they manage to kill Amaterasu and recover the bomb, all this advantage will be for nothing. He has the op. No, don't shoot your own teammates. He missed the first shot. Luckily, they're getting shut down from both the sides, but they managed to get them both. This is the disaster. Deathmaker steps in, but it might just be a bit too late. 2 versus 3. They need to hurry to the B site. And they are gonna be greeted by Excali.
भाई क्या
Has a
कर रहे
nice
हैं?
off angle. They probably won't check
Oh
it,
भाई.
but they're going
Oh
elsewhere.
shit.
Them drop down, and Deathmaker's again ready. Misses the first shot, but he won't miss the second one. Borkum headed his way. Very less time left on the clock, and
ओ भाई साहब गाइस भाई हाफ ठीक है यार पिस्टल राउंड निकालना पड़ेगा बस इतना ही है वी नीड द पिस्टल दैट्स इट पिस्टल बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है बॉयज
they would have taken a chapter right out of the Bren esports playbook, and maybe they'll try to replicate their
पिस्टल
strats.
निकाल लो बस
Maybe they'll try to modify
ओ
it to
भाई
some
स्किल्स
extent
एक
and
किल
then
पे
use their
भाई
own strategies against
एक
Bren
किल
esports.
पे
I don't know what's
व्हाट
gonna happen. These next 40 seconds of the wait time is
सिटी
probably
साइड
gonna
पे
be the
एक किल
longest
भाई
of my life, because Entity, this is it. This is do or die. If they make it through, they will be the first ever Indian team to make it to the playoffs of an international CS tournament. If they don't, well then it's gonna be a repeat of what happened yesterday. But either way, I can already see that this game
भाई ये
is much
commentary वाले
closer
सही
than
है
what happened yesterday.
गाड़ मारते हैं इंडियन की
Yesterday, Entity lost 16-7. Today, they are 8 for 7, and they have a chance of putting together more rounds on the board. Either way, no matter what happens, no matter if Entity loses or wins, I think they can walk back into the country with their heads held high. They have challenged some of the most strongest teams in the continent. Revolution is no joke, and they defeated them convincingly. They managed to make Bren Esports sweat. Bren Esports are the ex-Mineski / Archangel lineup. They're the strongest players from Philippines. And if you know, Philippines, I think in my opinion, has a much deeper and a richer esports culture. They
So that
Yeah, like I said, Philippines has a much deeper esports culture. And if I'm not wrong, Bren esports receive a lot more support than Indian fans do. Although Dota is the more dominant game in Philippines, it shouldn't mean that CSGO doesn't receive any love in that country. Pro is already in for a great position for the backstab. Entity Gaming moving in towards the B
Let's
side.
go यार
And
पिस्टल निकालो
no.
he jumps out. He gets rid of Sai. One man already down, and Entity Gaming have been spotted. Their shenanigans towards the B site exposed and out in the open.
But Sai had all the utility for Entity. The 2 flashes invested down the drain. They have only a smoke recovered. Their entire strategy for the round has down SL alongside Sai's dead body, and now
Wait.
Bren.
Wait. I think Sai's dead body is still up there. What did Sai purchase? Did he purchase 2 flashbangs?
Yes,
Yeah.
2 flashbacks and a smoke, and now that entire
City-sided map
playbook
at
is down the
yes.
drain. Entity, they have a smoke recovered, not a frag though.
भाई ये स्मोक वोक सब बाय किए
This
थे
is as
लेकिन अब
best of a start that Bren
फ्लैश
could have
वगैरह
expected
फेल हो
with
गया
the
भाई
pistol
सब
round.
वेस्ट हो गया
Look at Entity, they're still wondering what to do. That loss meant a lot to them. Skills. Lining up the smoke in for connector as they will try to flash, but without any flashes, there's going to be a long-range bloodbath that Bren are more than happy to deliver. Initial engagements taken into lower. They did manage to ding down Borkum, but they do come on the bottom of the frags.
अबे
As
मरेगा
Witz
ये.
finds Amaterasu aggressing through,
Nice.
but the aggression countered Skills, expecting Borkum to go on the aggressive stance. Definitely takes care of Wits, starting the tables turn. Entity, the man advantage in their favor, but Derek is approaching in from the back lines while Pro tries to come in from the backstab. The initial frag netted, but Deathmaker jumping like a bunny, trying to survive. 8 HP is all that he has remaining. Derek, all that he needs to do right now is close the lines. Deathmaker trying to outplay him, trying to play off intuition, but Derek, patience is
3v2
everything, and he
था
gets
यार.
a lot of it.
हार
Gets the
गए
defuse as well. On top of it, the defuse get recovered. Entity, they had perhaps a rush planned alongside 2, but they had to cut you
भाई लॉल ये हंस रहा है
and they will cut short
भाई
man only.
ग्राफिटी देखे तुम भाई
Well,
लॉल
Entity Gaming, I can say that they desperately needed to win the pistol round if they needed things to go in their favor. As many rounds as they can get on the T side, they're hard to come by. Rounds on the T side, they're really difficult to come by, and they needed everything.
अरे
they
हर्ट्स
got.
भाई क्या बोल रहे हो
But
भाई?
not all hope
डिलीट
is
हो
lost
गया
yet.
मैसेज.
We have seen teams win the second round after losing the pistol, so maybe something similar can happen. Entity had the money. They could have purchased, they could have gone for a force buy, but they only purchased Deagle, so it's more of a quasi buy rather than a force. They don't have any armor, so they can get aim punched. But if they went in, if they invested everything they had, they probably could have challenged Bren. I guess we'll never know. And, oh, Jesus. Skills takes a straight bullet through the woodworks. A little damage to the wall bangs, and even a Matrasu takes a nade to the face. Entity Gaming are losing most of their HP already. And the fact that they have no armor makes it so much more easier for Bren Esports.
And it's going to be Borkum playing up close and personal. And mind you, Entity did not have armor. They're just going to be walking into a blender. Borkum, initial frags netted. Farmers in from the long range provides side, trying to find the bomb, but he's not going to find anything in return. Only a few bullets entering his body. Amaterasu watching for a potential backstab that still hasn't come.
पीछे तो
An
देखो.
Entity, whatever they were trying to do this round, it's been dismantled. Poppy
अबे 4
takes the
सेकंड
backstab
रहेगा
down
तो ही
and
भाई
left
जीत
side
पाएंगे यार. ये तो
alone.
फैक्ट है.
The SMGs, they've netted up enough money, and now Bren hitting double digits. Entity, it's about time they wake up.
भाई गन राउंड तो इनको चाहिए भाई एनटीटी को
They
यार.
have been in a slumber for long. Speaking of slumber, Skills is not having a really good day. He's in
Skills
some kind
दो
of a
kill
slumber
पे.
of his own. Down with only 2 kills. Fun fact, Entity Gaming actually have 6 players in their roster. Escudo is one of them. And even though Escudo is the youngest player of them all, and he doesn't have a lot of experience, his aim is indeed really good. But either way, he's not here to help his team out today. Maybe Entity could have used his aiming skills. But they will
Well,
have to
one
make
way
do.
or another, they will have to make do. Exactly, they will have to make do with. They have a really good buy coming in as well. A lot of utility on the board. Whatever Sai was planning to do initially in the pistol round, it might come in fruition now. You never know, Crips. Entity, a man
भाई ये
down.
बाहर जाके चूक करते यार. घर
Two,
पे हीरो है
3
यार.
rounds down. Let's see if they can make do with this buy, and it's no op on the other end, so might be all the easier, but words spoken too soon, maybe. Pressing it through the top, we doubted skills, and he delivers. Initial entry taken on the Borkum site
मैं 2 kill पे
as
10 kills
well
भाई. चलो
secured.
20 तो
And
ले रहा.
now, look at Brenna saving.
चलो गाइस
They don't want
पहला
any
राउंड
business on
निकला.
this retake.
T
They know
side
they're
है.
a man down. They know that the B side is a little harder to retake, and they want to at least take the rifles into the next round. Perhaps let Poppy go hunting.
मार्शल तो भाई सीन से एकदम आउट चल रहा है भाई. जब से एंटिटी को छोड़ा ऑप्टिक पे गया.
Well,
ऑप्टिक में
Bren,
तो ही वाज
they
शाइनिंग.
probably wouldn't be feeling bad when they go for the
4
save in
सेकंड
this
वाले
round.
सीन के बाद तो भाई
They
कहाँ है
know they
पता
have
ही
much
नहीं
more
यार.
rounds than Entity.
मार्शल अभी कहाँ है?
They know that they're on the CT side, the side with more advantage. They will be more than happy to save their weapons and give away a round to Entity if it means that they can put even more pressure on them in the next one. Bren have a little bit of a breathing room. And Entity. They
चलो
can't afford to
भाई
throw away
गन
rounds
राउंड
like
तो
Bren
निकाला
can.
यार इन्होंने. और एक राउंड निकाल
Either
लो.
way, Bren doesn't
Economy
have too
break
much
हो
money left
जाएगी.
except for $4,000 on Poppy Chulo. They can drop a weapon to one of their last teammates. Which one's it gonna be?
भाई
Derek
पैसे
has the
सही है
biggest
यार
gun of
वैसे.
them all.
ब्रेन
And,
वाली टीम पे.
Pro picks up an AUG as well, so I guess the firepower just increased a lot. Papi Chulo with the SMG has been doing quite well throughout the entire series. And he will be taking an aggressive position once again to make sure that the SMG is in the best place so that he can dish out maximum amount of punishment. Entity once again going in towards the brown halls, but this time instead of going B, they take a little detour towards shot ladder. Smokes and Molotovs come flying in. Papichulo initially taken out, but Wits, he did manage to kill Skills, who was tagged up by Derek. We still have Derek in towards the green train. He's running alive, but he might just be able to take one down before he goes down. Wits still holding strong, getting those tags in, ditching as much damage as he can, but he will finally be put to a halt. Entity can go for the bomb plant just now. And they have done it. They planted the digits in.
नाइस यार भाई ये निकल जाएगा ये राउंड.
On the back of the 1.6
अबे
areas,
कहाँ पीक ले रहा है?
both the
देखने
1.6
का.
halls being now aggressed by Bren. They have one nade and that's all. They could probably throw it to a shot ladder, which would result in an instant kill, but the Amaterasu will be the one tanking it. Doesn't take too much damage, so he's lucky to be alive. 2 versus 3. Borkum going all the way into the middle train, and he should be able to catch Amaterasu off guard. All of a sudden, Excali finds himself all alone, and Bren managed to clutch this round out.
भाई क्या
How
है?
on earth did they do that? Nobody checked for Borkum's position towards the middle train, and he was able to get the backstab onto Amaterasu.
भाई क्या है? क्या
Excali can't
मैंने
even
क्या
do
देख
game.
लिया
He was
अपने आँख
already
से
down to
आज?
20 HP.
ओ भाई lol.
Again, patience is key. They were calm, cool, collected on the retake, taking every step as it came. Borkum, using the distraction that his teammate did by, sets himself up in the perfect position and frags out in the end. Entity, they did set up pretty well for the post plan, but when it came to deliver, they failed. And so did the round. Entity, they have another buy coming in here, but if they do lose this one, it'll be a while from soon they'll see another buy. That will mean that Bren can widen the margins. With the AWP is playing up close and personal here. Aggressive control in through T connector and SL. Entity, they either fight their way into the B side or funnel themselves. They either fight themselves into the A side or funnel B side. Whichever it is, it does seem like Bren are going to be at the top of their engagement. Borkum has enough defensive utility to keep them at bay for about 15 seconds. Initial utility from Entity comes raining in. Borkum has some of his own. Does the aggressive thing on the back of bot train. And this is a common position to be checked. Excali aggressive through spots his shadow.
Nice,
well,
nice.
and now he's a silhouette. Goes down early. And Skills able to burn down Witsu, try to make something happen in the back lines. Bren, all of a sudden, the number is 10 and they call it bail.
Entity Gaming slowly but surely winning those rounds. But then
Guys, don't forget to like and
fact that
subscribe यार.
they need much more
मैं
than
daily
round
stream
wins
करता हूँ so
is
strong
kills.
matchmaking
As long
वगैरह.
as Bren manages to survive with their
भाई
weapons,
daily
they
आना.
can keep putting up a fight again and again and again, and then Entity Gaming won't ever have, you know, one of those easy
भाई
rounds
यार
where you just
NTT
have to
जीते
kill some
पहले
pistols.
भाई.
They'll
चैनल
never
का
get into a
भाने में
situation
पहले
like that.
NTT जीते.
Bren will almost always be able to
ओ
keep them
भाई
fight.
जा जा के
Pro
मर
picks
रहे
up
हैं.
3 kills, and that makes
जैसे
it
इन पे
so
लाखों
much more
रुपए.
expensive for Entity Gaming.
भाई साहब.
Now they don't have any money to reinvest into the guns, and their economy will be back to shambles, back to square one. They could have built on the top of that, but Pro picks up 3 for absolutely free. And Entity
भाई
are
Pro
in
ने
trouble
3
once
किल लिया है
again.
जी
If
से
this
भाई.
keeps on
OP
repeating,
गन है.
no matter how many rounds Entity is able to come up with, somewhere down the line, their backbone will break, and that's when Bren will go ahead to not
भाई
just
बहुत ज़्यादा
widen the
OP गन है
margins,
ये.
like you said, but completely rip this game open.
And now they do have a buy coming in as well. If Entity Gaming do lose this one, again, I've been telling that quite a bit, but they're playing at the edge of they're playing in the side of a double-edged sword. They go in for these hunts, but they're not clinical with it. One player has found 3 kills, and that has caused a huge problem. The Molotov will stop them cold at that trail. Like, Scally almost burns to
भाई
a crisp.
बचा है इसका.
Down at 25 points of health. But mind you,
Scally
Bren,
बचा है भाई.
they're playing aggressive on the back of this utility. Wit's able to find a kill through the smoke. And the other frag comes in from Derek. They're just holding the line here, and they have no problem doing so. As Derek says, hold my beer. There's only skills remaining. 1 versus 3. Spotted out Wits. Doesn't know the player in through heaven, though. Still walking his way, and Borkum, he knows exactly what's up. Takes him down from above. And recovers the AWP as well.
अब भाई ये
Entity,
लास्ट
even
राउंड ये
though
लोग
to get
अगर
the
गन
initial entry, Bren are more than comfortable playing pass.
भाई लोग ये लास्ट राउंड अगर 3 जन मरते नहीं फ्री में वो एग्जिट लेने के लिए तो अभी इनका बाय हो जाता है राउंड. अब ये राउंड इको करना पड़ेगा एनटीटी को यार. बेमतलब का भाई ये लोग ने यार थ्रो किया.
Problem that keeps on recurring, and finally, the thing which I
देख
was
रहे हो
scared
इको कर रहे
for
हैं.
the most has happened.
जस्ट
Entity's
बिकॉज
economy
वो
is
3
broken.
मरे थे उस राउंड.
At this point, Brent can go on an uncontrolled winning spree. These Eagles are going to have to be absolutely magical if they want to make this work. Somehow, Amaterasu moves in towards the center train, and Derek finally puts a halt to his killing spree. But if Derek hadn't spotted him, and if Amaterasu would have been a little sneaky, he probably might have been able to get a few more kills. I guess that won't be happening. You need smoke to make a play like that to sneak in via the middle train. And since they had absolutely nothing, Entity Gaming will just feed away this round to Bren. They never had any chance of winning it. Whatever they have now.
अबे सिद्धार्थ भाई 3 प्लेयर मर गए भाई वो उसको मारने के चक्कर में और वो अकेले 3 प्लेयर को मार दिया भाई वो लास्ट राउंड. कम ऑन एनटीटी यार.
Entity with barely enough weaponry, making compromises on Galils and UMPs. Luckily, they have some smokes and molotovs to work with, which is just the bare minimum
Marega.
required to make things work on train, but they lack the flashbangs. And quite frankly, that's one place where Bren can throw in a monkey wrench, which was spotted towards the bottom. Now he's gonna reposition himself. Obviously, it creates problems no matter where he goes. Borkum's gonna take up his place. Meanwhile,
भाई ऊपर को देख रहे हो guys, क्या पोजीशन चेंज कर रहा है भाई एकदम.
He's hoping that this low
हाँ,
smoke
shot
will
miss
be
किया
able
तो
to
वहाँ
sell
वो
the
ऊपर
fake,
देखने
but
लग गया,
that
वो भी
will do
पीछे
a
से.
lot of damage. Still gets taken down to 30 HP, but Borkum with the M4 is able to shut them all down. A triple spray down to delete Entity and almost all of their players as they make their way through the smoke
GG भाई.
straight to the welcoming cross of Borkum, which allows him to get a triple kill. Matarazzo has no hopes of getting past this round. He's getting plummeted through the smoke. Fire behind, bullets above. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and Bren are on the verge of knocking Entity out of this tournament.
Entity, they do call a timeout here. This is their last chance. They don't have money to work with, so do they even concede map, match, and series point to Bren? Are they gonna play on the back of 6 match points up against them?
भाई
That's a
साई
daunting
ए पे
task.
फेक कर रहा है.
Too daunting, to be honest.
क्या भाई, मेरे को स्टार्ट से नहीं
And
समझ आ
with
रहा
the
है
amount
अच्छे
of
से.
money they have, it's not possible at all. Let's take a look at their loss bonus. It's a 3-pointer now.
आशीष भाई उसको
Which
आता
means in
नहीं
the
है.
next round, if they
मतलब
don't buy anything now, they
इंडिया
will
में
be
भाई
able
एक
to
ही
afford
चलता है
weapons,
यार.
but then
एसजी का स्प्रे अभी तक
at
किसी
what
को आया नहीं
cost?
अच्छे से. So
Entity
they are
Gaming
using
need to secure the bomb plant now.
AK
And even
only.
after that,
SG
nothing's
spray is very
guaranteed.
tough bro. बस इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स करते हैं
But if they
अच्छे
do
से.
get the bomb plant, they should be able to afford ops. Maybe even an auto sniper. Hell, I mean, at this point, why not? Seems like Bren are gonna be having an easy time dealing with these deagles unless they manage to pull off some ridiculous shots. Entity Gaming will most likely fall down to the
भाई
ground.
रेप हो रहा है यार एनटीटी का.
Ashes to dust, and Bren are on map and match
भाई 4
point.
सेकंड की
It
जरूरत है
seems
भाई
like
टीम को.
Entity are on the very
सही बोल रहा है
edge
तू.
of the end of the road. A little push and they will fall down
सतीश
into
भाई
the cold abyss.
सही बोल रहा है.
They have the buy coming in, but they gotta be feeling the pressure
अरे
now.
यार क्या बोल
Everything
रहा
up
है,
against them.
इतना बुरा फील हो रहा है यार अब.
The only silver lining here is they have a chance, a very slim one in that. Bren have been on point on their defense duty so far, defending the
भाई
yard.
$20 मैंने भाई बेट किए हुए भाई
Entity not able
एनटीटी
to
पे.
penetrate towards either side successfully. They have found
पांच
decent
के odds
success into
पे.
where it's B, but every single time
Flip
they
हो
enter
गया भाई
into his A,
$20.
it ends up being a bloodbath, with Bren being on top of most of the engagements. They want to split open the A side, having one man in through SL, gone, 3 men rushing in through Ivy. They're trying to catch Bren off guard, but look at this. They've already adapted. Jarek does fall, but he's setting up Pro to succeed, and he does. The refrag though, but Pro more than happy to deliver as he gets his third in the. A man advantage as well. Deathmaker needs to come on massive for his team. Skills and Deathmaker do find a killer piece, but look at their HP. They're so dead low, and Pappy can't step up for the fray. Playing in from 1.6, this might be overlooked. This
Oh,
might be
no.
a huge issue.
4K then.
Deathmaker बचा
Finally,
लिया भाई.
Deathmaker does chime in at the end.
बचा
I
लिया.
guess this is one of the first time Entity Gaming's A assault has actually worked, and this is when they actually needed it to make it work. At one point, I thought that was it. The moment the plant started coming in, I thought Papi Chulo would be able to clutch out that 1v2.
भाई
That was the end
Deathmaker
of the
भी
road,
headshot
but
machine है
Deathmaker,
भाई,
he
लेकिन
trades
इंडिया में
with almost zero reaction
बाहर
time,
जाके उसका
keeping
headshot
Entity
नहीं
alive
चलता
for
यार.
even one more round, and they need to do this piece by piece, one step at a time, round by round. They cannot afford to give in just yet. Not now, not when they've come so close. Double op setup onto Bren. Looks like they want to put an end to this, but Sai, his shenanigans are even stronger. One of the ops down and dusted already. That will force Bren to focus their attention towards the B side because he must have spotted at least 2 more players while he was scoping in towards Sai. Derek already is in great position to backstep as soon as Borkum springs the trap. The rotation from Papi Chulo is also here, and they need to win this, but Borkum sprays down too. That's the C4
ये
spot,
लोग
and
भाई
they can
ट्रेड
move in
लेते
right the hell
3 दिन
now.
के बढ़ने के
Even
बाद.
the backstab is taken care of. Derek, he tried to move in a bit too soon, but luckily Skills was ready for him. Entity Gaming still have the man advantage. They still have plenty of time. They can reconsider their options. They got 2 Molotovs, 2 flashbangs. They can step back, take a breather, and
भाई
figure
लोग
out what to
सब्सक्राइब
do
करना
from
मत
this point
भूलना यार
onwards. Bren
और
Esports don't
रेगुलर
have any
स्ट्रीम पे
cross-fire
आया करो
potential.
भाई अब
Papi
से
Chulo
स्ट्रीम
alone on
करूंगा
A.
डेली
I'm sorry, Wits
टाइम
alone on A,
निकाल
Papi
के
Chulo alone
रात
on
को
B. They can win this if they go in all at
सपोर्ट
once.
बनाए रखना
But not like the
अभी
one time they
एनटीटी को
went in
जिताओ
and they
यार
got straight
$20
down by
भाई
Mokum.
लगे हुए
Not like that. They need to make sure that their trade frags are on point. They decide not to go towards the B side. They're exploring their options, trying to throw in flashes, smoke, whatever they can. Any information at this point would be great. If I was in NTD's shoes, I would probably expect both the Bren players to be playing at the same site, but that's not what's happening. And now with trapped in a 1v3, NTD
मम्मी,
to stay alive for one more
देखना
round.
बाहर
And he
कुछ
will
हुआ है।
burn in his quest to land that one shot. NTD Gaming are still in this fight, but Bren Esports can continue putting up resistance. So much money in their banks. It's
मम्मी
almost like Bren Esports are the
देखो
final
ना बाहर
boss
क्या हुआ
who revives himself for
बाहर से
phase
हल्ला
2
चिल्ला हो
after
रहा है भाई
a
मैं
couple
तो
of
डर
months.
गया भाई रूम में बैठा हूँ मैं
This is what it's starting to feel like. And now Bren are the ones who've taken a timeout. They cannot afford to let
भाई
Entity
मैं आया रुको
drag this into an overtime. Otherwise, everything that they've worked for will go down the drain. And Entity also need this time. They need it much more than Bren do because they are the ones who are having their backs pinned against the walls.
They were fortunate to find the previous round. Bren, a little overzealous perhaps to get this early end. Given Entity a little room to breathe. They can still invest, like you said, Crips. Maybe a double up setup again on the board. Pro definitely has enough money to drop one and go for armor alongside a little utility with no head armor, really. None required as well. Including Deathmaker with the M4. Call the timeout, and they've called it at a very crucial stage of the game. Bren, they either close this now or risk overtime yet again. But this time it's Entity the ones who are on the back of a massive comeback, not Bren. We enter regulation time. Bren still yet to invest. Pro
भाई तल्ले में
going
से
in for
मिला
the
होने लग
rifle.
गया भाई मैं डर
Not
गया
fancying his chance for
ये
the
क्या हो
double
गया
op.
हल्ला चिल्ला हो रहा है
And mind you, they've been doing pretty
Yeah.
decent with the double op. It's a bit surprising to see them return to conventional rifle.
Yeah, and
Yes,
we know
Vinay,
now
yes.
exactly why they have chosen to opt for the surprise. Instead of stacking 4 on A and 1 on B, which they usually do, this time they have 3 on B. Direct towards SL. They hardly have any presence towards the A
भाई
side.
जीतेंगे भाई एनटीटी राउंड
Which
निकालेंगे
seems to be the
भरोसा
initial
है
case, but then the rotations will come in, and then Bren will continue resuming their defaults. Entity Gaming, they're taking it very slow, very carefully and methodically. They do not want to walk into any traps. Trying to bait out as much utility from Bren Esports as they can. But that hasn't been going well for them so far.
भाई निकाल लो यार ये राउंड भाई
जी।
तमीज से
Not gain control into SL just yet, which has been their primary reason for them to come back so far. They were able to cut off rotations and manage it at the same time. Bren, this time around, they figured it out. The nade is decent. Takes both Deathmaker and Excali to one tappable range for the M4.
But the
And the
time is
flash-
But the time is running out. They have only 40 seconds left, and Entity need to make a move now. It seems that Bren, they're going to be making the first move by pushing in most of their players towards the edges of the center trains. The flashbang's
Nice
perfect. They need
flash.
to have moved in now, but Olaf, Pro, in that position, he can do so much while Derek continues to distract them. Papi Chulo will strike, and he will drop the bomb. He
Bhai
gets
gaye.
another one as well. It's all down to Sai. He's got 2 kills from the op,
Gaye.
but that's it. That's all he's going to be able to do. Entity Gaming put up such a great
अरे
fight,
भाई,
but
rip,
in the
rip.
end, it will be Bren
Rest in
Esports
peace
who come out on
my
top.
$20
What a magnificent game from each and every team that have participated in this tournament.
भाई
And
साहब
personally, I can say that
चलो
NTD
गाइस
Gaming
लाइक सब्सक्राइब
can
कर
walk
देना
out of this
करता हूँ
tournament
मैं
with
रात
their
को
heads held
अगर
high.
पॉसिबल है
They
स्ट्रीम
did
तो
show
नहीं तो
some
मिलते
signs
कल
of life when they
जा
started
रहा
to
हूँ अभी
counter Bren Esports. They managed
गाइस
to
लाइक
make
एंड
them
सब्सक्राइब
uncomfortable on their own map
एनटीटी की
pick.
दुख में
Then
आज
they
ज्यादा
won their
वेट
map
उठाना पड़ेगा मेरे
convincingly,
को फील हो रहा है
and they
ऐसा
were able to give them a tough fight, a tough run for their money on train as well.
अबे यार स्किल्स
Even
नो
though
किल
they lost the map yesterday,
मैं तेरा
they were
शुरू
brave enough to
तेरा
face them again on this one today.
डेथ
I
मेकर
guess that
साई और
bravery was
एक्सकाली भाई
a
मेन है
bit unjustified, but still,
इनमें भाई सब
Entity
खेल रहे
Gaming
हैं
have
सब
defeated Revolution Esports as
क्या
well.
होगा भाई
And that's the end of the journey for them in
चलो
Saudi
गाइस
Dreamsland.
टेक
But
केयर बाय बाय सी यू
believe me,
गाइस टुमारो
they
या
have
रात
done
को
more than
इफ
enough.
आई एम एबल
And
टू
I feel
स्ट्रीम
that
और
India should
जरूर
be
आना
happy
स्ट्रीम
with
पे
their
गाइस
performance at this point.
मिलते हैं टाटा होप यू गाइस
Well,
एंजॉयड द
that
स्ट्रीम
was the
टेक
last
केयर
game of the day.
पीस
Thank you.